is the microbiologist. He is working in the NABL QCI. So he will deliver the importance of NABL accreditation for the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and Homeopathy. So I would request Pankaj sir to kindly share your views, sir, with the participants. And you can do one thing. You can also give a brief round of your introduction, so sir will be aware keep from where you are belongs and in which what is your subjects and what is your area of work. Ma'am,
Okay. So very good morning to all of you. And first, like Dr. Saab has said, we will quickly start with the introduction first. So firstly, I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Pankaj Goyal. I'm Joint Director, National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, in short NABL. That is the Constituent Board of Quality Council of India. I'm in the capacity of the Joint Director over there, and I'm looking after the accreditation related activities of testing laboratories, calibration laboratories, PTPs, proficiency testing providers, RMPs, reference material producers. I'm also looking after the assessors training program in accordance with ISO/IEC 17025/2017. I'm also the trained faculty for the standard, and I have trained more than 1,000 assessors in the field of the testing and calibration so far, and conducted more than 60 training programs in this particular area of the standard. And now, and like sir has already told, I'm professionally microbiologist. So I'm doctorate in microbiology and having around more than 22 years of the experience now. So sir, we'll start from you. Uttarakhand, Dehradun. Okay, Podigal.
Dr. Fasir Rahman. I'm working as Drugs Inspector Unani, Directorate of Ayush, Delhi. Virendra Sharma, Research Officer Chemistry, CCRM, Hado.
Good morning, sir. I am Alpesh Nakum from Ahmedabad, working in the process technology at Procter & Gamble.
Good morning, sir. Shankaraya, GM Technical, New Vidya Pharmacy and Ayurvedic Laboratories, Cochin, Kerala.
Good morning, sir. Myself Gaurav Mukherjee. I am from GD Pharmaceuticals, Kolkata. I am in Quality Control Lab.
Good morning, sir. Myself Sumon Bakshi from GD Pharmaceutical Kolkata. I am looking after the production.
Good morning, sir. Shivam Sinha from Herbal Green Care Pharmaceutical, Guwahati, Assam.
Morning, sir. Myself Anakha, working as field botanist at Center of Medicinal Plants Research in Homeopathy, CCRH, Ooty.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Bibhushan Biswas. I am Research Officer Chemistry at Central Council for Research in Homeopathy.
And good morning. Myself Dr. Vinay Trivedi, Research Officer Chemistry at Dr. D.P. Rastogi Center Research Institute, Noida, under the CCR. Yes, sir.
Morning, sir. Myself Kiran Neki, Research Officer Botany in Drug Standardization Research Unit, New Delhi, under CCRU.
in this particular capacity building, workshop for all these scientists and, entrepreneurs or stakeholders, just to increase their capacity in the field of the Ayush testing, particularly of the homeopathic and other things. My sincere thanks to Dr. Lalit also for cooperation and kind invitation for delivering the talk in this particular platform. So once again, thanks to all of you in advance, and hope that you will understand about what exactly is the annual accreditation, how it is important in your day-to-day testing related activities. So we will start. Shall we start now? Okay. So well, first of all, I think I should stand. That would be better. So first of all, I would like to let you know about the NABL. Like already I told you that NABL is the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratory. Well, it is the autonomous body under the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is the DPIIT. So initially, this NABL, actually it has been established in 1981 by virtue of the Planning Commission, and in 1981 it was come as the NCTCF, that is National Coordination for Testing and Calibration Facilities, which later in 1992 it got renamed as the NABL, and earlier it was the autonomous body under the Department of Science and Technology. And but now in after the decision of the cabinet decision, it was merged with the Quality Council of India. Now it is the constituent board of the Quality Council of India. That is the autonomous body under the DPIIT, Ministry of the Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Well, as far as the objectives of NABL is concerned, well, it is having the objective to provide the government, industry associations, as well as industry in general with the scheme for the third party assessment of the quality and the technical competency. So here two things are very, very important. First is the third party assessment, that is completely impartial. We are completely independent. And another thing is the competency with respect to the quality as well as the testing. Okay, so if the laboratory or whosoever is going to do the testing, whatever you say, any kind of the field, including this Ayush testing as well, if the laboratory will be competent, they will get the accreditation. They will get the accreditation. Now, as far as the our dimensions are concerned, so we are accrediting testing laboratories like any kind of the testing, including drug testing, including the Ayush testing, including the food testing, including the cosmetic testing. What kind of the testing? In fact, this electrical, electronics, any kind of the testing laboratories we are accrediting. Second is the calibration laboratories. Third is the medical testing laboratories, like blood testing. You are going for the pathology laboratory or something like that. We are accrediting those laboratories also. Then PTP is the proficiency testing providers to ensuring the validity of the test results. Usually PTPs are required for participation in the proficiency testing. Those PTPs are accredited by NABL as well. And the reference material producers to use the reference materials, CRMs, that is the certified reference materials, etc. That RMPs are also being accredited by NABL. And finally, the biobanking, which only the last year, the 2024, we have launched. That biobanking, that is the preservation of the genetic materials of seed or the animals or the plants, etc. That accreditation we are granting in that particular field also. Well, NABL offers the accreditation services to all the laboratories in non-discriminatory manner. Like already I told you that it is the third-party assessment without any kind of the intended interest. So that's why we are offering the accreditation in the indiscriminatory manner. So no any kind of the discrimination between the government or the private laboratories or any other kind of the rich or the poor laboratories, one-man laboratory or the other kind of the laboratories. We do not offer any kind of the discrimination. If the laboratory is competent, then the NABL will extend its accreditation. Otherwise, no. Then NABL is the autonomous accreditation body. Accreditation body, AB, is which imparting the accreditation to the laboratories. So accreditation body in India, it is the NABL. Already I told you the full form. And NABL itself is being, evaluated by the apex bodies. Apex bodies are the later on I will tell you in my lecture. There is the international, cooperation, that is the ILAC, and then APEC is there, that is the regional cooperation. And further, there is this international standard, that is ISO IEC 17011 2017. That is the conformity assessment requirement for accreditation bodies, accrediting conformity assessment bodies. So this is the standard by virtue of that NABL operates itself. Now, history, like already I told you, since 1973, NABL is in its existence. In the Planning Commission, initially in 1973, has suggested Department of Science and Technology (DST) to look into the different aspects of the testing facilities. Then later in 1982, it was established in the form of the NCTCF, that is National Coordination for Testing and Calibration Facilities, to ensure ensure the accreditation services in the testing and calibration laboratories. Then 1992, 1993, approximately it got converted into the NABL, that is the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories. And 1998, it got registered as the Societies Act as the autonomous body under the aegis of the DSC. And finally, in 2016, it got merged with the Quality Council of India and as a constituent board. That is after the cabinet decision. Now it is the honored moment for me that in India accreditation system ranked fifth globally in the global index, global quality infrastructure index. It is the fifth in the position. So I hope under the quite honored leadership of our honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, we have achieved the fifth position. Now we are aiming to get it in the top three position. Now. And further, the Quality Council of India, little bit I will let you know about that. That it is established through the cabinet decision in 1996, and it is a non-profit autonomous society, and it is formed through the PPP mode, that is the public-private partnership between the government of India and the Indian industry, namely ASOCHAM, CII, and FICCI, that is FICCI. The vision of the Quality Council of India to ensure that all the citizens are empowered with the good quality of the life. Quality is the, it is the unforgettable, undetachable aspect of the life now. So in each field, wherever we are, whatever we are using in day-to-day life, that is quality is associated, and we want the quality products on. And mission that to lead the nationwide quality movement in India, that is basically the mission of the Quality Council of India. So we are focusing more about on the quality products basically nowadays, and the QCI is working day and night about to achieve this particular goal, so that ultimately the aim, the dream of the honorable Prime Minister will also be achieved to get the top three position in the quality infrastructure globally. So, well, this is the quite structure of the Quality Council of India. So here we are having the 5 boards and some 4 divisions are there. In boards, there is a NABL, that is the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, which is basically aims for the accreditation of all kind of the testing and calibration laboratories, including the medical testing laboratories and the other field like PTP, RMP, and the biobanking. Then NABET is there, that is the National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, basically aimed for the accreditation of the training institutes, including universities, etc. NABH is the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. So basically for the hospitals, I think you have seen that NABH logo over there in some hospitals. Now more hospitals are keen towards taking this NABH accreditation. NABCB is the National Accreditation Board for Certification Bodies, that kind of the other certification like ISO 9001 Quality Management System or the Environmental Management System, all the kind of the certification. The NABCB is giving the accreditation to those certification bodies. And NBQP is the National Board for Quality Promotion for increasing about the quality, for promoting the quality in India. And then there are the divisions which are for the aiming for the special projects, like PPID is the Project Planning and Implementation Division. PAD is for the Project Analysis and Documentation Division. NDI, that is National Division of Industry Excellence, that is the JET, Zero Defect, Zero Effect. I think a few years ago, our Honorable Prime Minister has launched this JET Effect, Zero Effect, Zero Defect. And Strategy and Policy Division is there, which also aims for the quality policies provision. Now coming to the major aspect, what is the conformity assessment? Conformity assessment is very, very important with respect to whenever you are talking about the accreditation. So that is conformity assessment. Basically, it is a demonstration that specific in requirements are fulfilled. Whatever you are going to test, like in ASU&H, you are testing any kind of the Unani drug, or you are testing any kind of the homeopathic drug, or you are testing any kind of Ayurvedic drug. All the 3 kinds of the drug you are testing for the particular kind of the test parameter. For example, microbial salmonella you are going to test, or you are going to test any kind of the pathogen, other pathogens, or you are going to test any kind of the total microbial count. Similarly, in the chemical, like presence of the heavy metals or whatever you are going to test. So whether as per the standards requirement, it is conforming to that particular requirement or not. That is the conformity assessment. After being tested that particular product, whether it is within the limit or not within the limit. The sample in simple forms we are used to say that sample is pass or sample is fail. Okay, that is the conformity assessment, that the specified requirements are being fulfilled. And what is the specified requirement? That is the need or the expectation that is stated. That is stated means what is your limit for that particular heavy metals or the particular pathogens. Like pathogens, we are saying it should be absent. Okay, it should be less than 10, less than 10 CFU per gram or per 10 gram or whatever the quantity you have specified. So definitely the specified requirement will be fulfilled when you are having that kind of a test result with you, in which it is as per the specified limit or the specified value of that particular test item. Then conformity assessment body. Conformity assessment body is nothing but the laboratory. In the simple terminology, it is the laboratory which is going to test that particular parameter that as per that particular method. That is the conformity assessment body. Like your laboratory is there, whether it is the Ayush, Unani testing laboratory, or it is for the homeopathic testing laboratory, or it is the Ayurvedic testing laboratory, whatever you can. Now, so accreditation, what we are talking about so far, that is NABL itself is the accreditation body. Okay. So what do you mean by the accreditation? Accreditation is simple. This is the definition has been taken from the standard, international standard ISO IC 17000. That is, accreditation is the third party attestation related to the conformity assessment body, conveying formal demonstration of its competency, impartiality, and consistent operation in performing the specific conformity assessment activity. Little bit you might feel complicated. I'll make it easy for you. First is the third party attestation. Third party attestation means it is independent, completely impartial, completely non-discriminatory. There is no partiality involved in giving the accreditation. Then conformity assessment body, already I told in the last slide that conformity assessment body is nothing but the laboratory which is going to test. Then there is a formal demonstration. Formal demonstration means you are going to demonstrate your competency. First is competency. Competency is your ability to do something. Second is impartiality. That whatever the operation you are doing also is impartial. Whatever NABL is doing is impartial. You are also doing the impartial. Whether you are getting the sample from the X laboratory, Y laboratory, or Z laboratory, or from the X stakeholder, Y stakeholder, or the Z stakeholder, your result will be depends upon the what exactly data you are receiving. Okay. Then consistent operation. Consistent operation means consistency to be maintained whether you are doing today or you are doing after 1 year. As per the method, you are going to do the things as per the given SOP or whatever the procedure, laid down procedure is there. You are doing the activity so that your results, consistency will be there in getting or obtaining the results. So ultimately, your results will be near to the true value. So this is the three things which is very, very important. It is also the basic pillars of the standard ISO IC 17025. That is the competency, another is impartiality, and third is the consistent operation. In performing the specific conformity assessment activity. What is the specific conformity assessment activity? It is the testing activity or the calibration activity or whatever the activity you are going to perform. For example, you are doing the salmonella analysis, you are doing the MLT, you are doing the sterility, or you are doing the heavy metal, you are doing the sulfate, whatever the things you are doing, even though very small is, that is the pH. You are determining the pH in given sample. That is also the conformity assessment activity, right? Any confusion in that? Then what is the accreditation? Already all these terminologies I have explained you about the third party, competency, specific task, and the organization. Now enable accreditation, like I in first slide I told you that there are the different fields. At least 6 fields are there in which enable is imparting the accreditation. These are the international standards. Might be thoda chota hai, but you can see I think in front of your screen. So first is the testing accreditation to the testing laboratory. So there is the one international standard, that is ISO IEC 17025, that is in current 2017 years of publication. That is the testing. The same standard is being used for the calibration laboratory also, that is ISO IEC 17025 2017. Then for medical testing laboratory, we use the another international standard, that is ISO 15189, that is in 2022. Then there is the proficiency testing provider PTP. For this there is the ISO IEC 17043, that is 2023 edition. Reference material producers RMP, that is ISO 17034. 17034. For PTP it was the 43, it was the 34 for the RMP. It is 34 for the RMP, that is for the 2016. And then biobanking is there, that is ISO 20387 2018. So these are the 6 standards by virtue of, 5 standards by virtue of that NABL is imparting the accreditation to 6 fields: testing, calibration, medical, for PTP, RMP, and biobanking. So accreditation, there are the different fields are there, disciplines are there. So one particular NABL document is there, that is called as the NABL 120, in which we have specified all the kind of the fields or disciplines where we are imparting the accreditation. Like if we will speak about the testing laboratories, there is a disciplines like biological testing. I hope you all understood about the biological testing. Like in your field also, you are doing the microbiological testing. Even though, like I think in Ayurveda particularly, plant and plant materials is also being tested for its general morphological structure, anatomy, or whatever another kind of the active ingredients is also, that is also being included over here. Then chemical testing is also there. Electrical testing, like whatever the electrical appliances you are using, all are being tested, and those laboratories which are going to test this electrical equipment are being accredited by NABL. Electronics like your laptops, testing mechanical includes all the kind of the like building material, mechanical testing, like metals is there, like this mic, the breakage of this mic or anything, the mechanical testing is involved. Non-destructive testing, like you can see like metro pillars are there, non-destructive testing. And then photometry, that is illuminance from this lights, that is photo radiation. Then radiological diagnostic radiology QA testing, that is CAT and other like computerized tomography and other things, and MRI in fact, forensic testing, then software and IT system in the software. All these kind of the testing are involved in the testing laboratories, and NABL is imparting the accreditation for this. Calibration laboratories basically for doing all the kind of the testing, certain kind of the equipment are required. And for those equipment, this equipment must be as per the requirement of the standard ASU/H 1705. This equipment must be calibrated, and this calibration shall be done from the calibration laboratories only, which are accredited by NABL. Okay, that's why the NABL is imparting the accreditation to all calibration laboratories like electrotechnical, mechanical, radiological, thermal, optical, fluid flow, medical devices. All fields are involved, which are ultimately beneficial for testing the equipment in the testing requirements. And further in the medical laboratories, medical testing laboratories like all the path laboratories, we are giving the accreditation to for this clinical biochemistry. Clinical biochemistry, I hope everybody's understood, all the doctors. Okay. Then clinical pathology, that is the pathogenesis, pathogens, cytogenetics, cytopaths, hematology, histopathology, microbiology, infectious disease, serology, molecular testing, and flow cytometry. And then PTP, there are the testing, calibration, medical inspection. We are giving the PTP accreditation and reference material productions for the chemical composition, biological and clinical properties, physical properties, engineering, and other miscellaneous properties. NABL is imparting the accreditation. Then biobanking, like human, veterinary, plant, microorganisms, and fungi. We are giving the accreditation. So ultimately, if you will see inside this, because this is the discipline only, further they have been categorized into the groups and the subgroups. So if you'll see 120, enable 120, you will see each and every aspect of the life which are being used in day-to-day purpose, day-to-day life is covered in this entire scope of accreditation. Okay, just to name the field, like bottle is there, like water is there, or this plate is there, or this mic is there, laptop is there, my pack is there, my shirt is there, my watch is there, whatever the, even the pen is there, you just name the thing. Everything will be captured over here. Okay, so that's why now, because India is now promoting the quality in each and every field, that's why we have covered, we try to cover each and every field, and the scope is open for the other thing also. And now, in fact, the government is also making mandatory for all the kind of the NABL accreditations. That's why we are incorporating whatever we are coming to the notice that these things are not involved. Now, there are the different types of the laboratories for the accreditation. First is the open to others laboratory. Open to others, that is the third party laboratory, which inclined to give the support to the general customer. Anybody can come to this laboratory and they can give the services. Then government laboratory, I think everybody's understood. Laboratories of the R&D organization, that is research and development organization. Then permanent facility laboratory is located at the permanent facility wherever it is. Or the laboratory can be, it is mobile facility also. That is like in food testing, you can see there are the vans are being moving and they are testing as and where required. Then there is the associations laboratory, in-house laboratory, you're like I was talking to the GD Pharmaceutical. They are having the in-house laboratory, right? And that is they are doing the testing for their own product only, not for the general customer. Then private laboratory, of course, everybody understood, and laboratory of the educational institutes like universities and the other colleges. And the site facility, already I told you that site, that person is going at the site and then they are doing the testing. And similarly, the mobile facility, already I told you. So now coming to the international recognition, by virtue of getting the NABL accreditation, the laboratory is getting the international NABL accreditation. Laboratory is getting the international recognition. How? Already I told you there is the two apex bodies there. One is the international, that is the ILAC. So first I will show you this particular globe. So the entire globe is covered under the ILAC. ILAC is International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation. Okay. Now it is covering the whole globe. Now there are the separate specific regions, or you can say regional bodies have been constituted. Like if you will see the Asia Pacific region, there is the APAC, APAC has been mentioned, that is Asia Pacific Accreditation Corporation. That is the regional body for the Asia Pacific region. Similarly, there is the IAAC. IAAC is the Inter-American Accreditation Corporation. Then on the left side, if you will see ARAC is there, that is Arab Accreditation Council. EA is the European Cooperation for Accreditation. AFREC is the African Accreditation Corporation. Then SADCA is the South African Development Cooperation for Accreditation. So ultimately mean to say the entire globe is covered under the ILAC, and then there are the regional bodies which are covering the different aspects or the regions of the globe. Now we will see APAC region. In the APAC region, India is also there, and in India there is NABL, which is accreditation body in India. So now already I told you that NABL is being also evaluated by the apex bodies by virtue of the international standard, that is ISO IC 17011 2017. So by virtue of that particular evaluation, NABL is having the MRA signatory. MRA is the mutual recognition arrangement. MRA signatory to APEC, as well as by virtue of the APEC signatory, we are getting the mutual MRA signatory to the ILAC as well. So ultimately, we have the traceability to the ILAC, that is the international. So once the NABL, any laboratory in NABL is getting the NABL accreditation, by virtue of the MRA signatory, MRA status of the NABL to the ILAC, they are getting the international recognition. You understood? So this is the website of the ILAC, International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation. So here you can see this NABL, that is National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, which is having the scope of this calibration testing, medical, PTP, RMP, and further biobanking is also there. Now coming to the benefit of the accreditation, we will speak about. So first of all, last slide only we have spoken about the international recognition. So by virtue of the MRA status of the NABL, a laboratory is getting the international recognition. So once the laboratory is internationally recognized, so ultimately it is a benefit for the laboratory in terms of business, right? Clear? Any doubt in this? Then second is access to the global market. So ultimately, when you are getting the NABL, accreditation, getting the international recognition, ultimately you will be having the greater access to the global market. You can increase your business in the, entire world. Of course, I'll not speak about the whatever that comparison. Third is the robust quality management system. Robust quality management system is what? Because you are having, after getting the NABL accreditation, whatever the sixth field I told you about the testing, calibration, medical, PTP, and NMP for the biobanking, you are having one standard implemented properly in your laboratory. For example, in testing and calibration, ISO IEC 1702 2017 implemented in the laboratory properly. And if you will see any of these standards, the quality is the integral part. So quality you cannot separate. So in fact, you will see the standard clause 8, that is the management system required, itself talks about the quality. Okay, so that is also the intent of the quality management system, that is ISO 9001, that is itself integrated into the ISO IEC 1702. So ultimately, whenever the laboratory has implemented this, ISO standards in their organization for getting the accreditation, particularly, they are having the quality management system in the robust way, so that everything is in plan and the systematic way. Whatever the work they are doing, that is as per the written down processes. Then what is the better operational control? Better operational control, because whenever the quality management system is in line, it is robust, it is having a stringent mechanism. Ultimately, there is a operational control with respect to the vertical throughout the management, throughout the technical phase. It will be completely in controlled way. Controlled way means whatever you have written as per the standard requirement, as per the method requirement, you are doing as per that only. Ultimately, you are getting the result due to your, near to your true value. Then time and money efficient. Time and money efficient because you are having the quality management system, robust quality management system, and the better operational control. Ultimately, whatever the data you are generating by virtue of the testing, that would be proper, near to the true value. So ultimately, there would be no need to do particularly the repeat testing or kind of the thing. Failures will be less, I mean to say, and ultimately it will be the time efficient and it will be the money efficient because the retesting cost will be reduced. Then continual improvement, that quality is the continuous process, it is not the one-time process. So continually you are improving in the type of the services, type of the things, so that you can get the better customer as well. Cost reduction, already I told you, and enhance customer confidence and the satisfaction. That of course, if you are giving the better services by virtue of the implementation of the standard in the proper way, your customer will be more having the more confidence in your services. Ultimately, more customer means more business. So ultimate objective of the business, laboratory is to get the business and to provide the quality services that would be fulfilled automatically over here. Now we'll talk about the accredited laboratories in India by NABL. That is testing laboratories more than 6,000, calibration laboratory approximately 1,200, medical more than 2,000, and PTP 72 applications for the biobanking because it is just last year we have launched. So now the total strength is more than 9,600, approximately 9,700 laboratories we have accredited so far, and it is just the state-wise distribution of all the laboratories. So acceptance of the NABL accredited laboratories now from the whole government sectors and the regulators, in fact, like Ministry of the Jal Shakti, you can see that everywhere in every state, the Ministry of Jal Shakti has made it mandatory that all the laboratories, whether it is the block level or it is the state level or it is the district level, they should have the NABL accreditation for all the kind of the waters, whether it is the drinking water or it is the groundwater, or in fact it is the river water as well. Then Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSA. So now it is FSSA has make mandatory that NABL accreditation should be there for any kind of the food being consumed by the domestic consumer. Okay, so everywhere, whatever the things you see, you will see the FSSA marker over there, and they must have this product must have got tested from the NABL accredited laboratory only. Then Agriculture and Processed Food Product Export Development Authority, that is APIDA. So it is also having the mandate for all the kind of the food products which are being exported along with the Export Inspection Council. So for any kind of the international business or international export of this kind of the food products, it is mandatory mandatory to get the NABL accreditation to get this product being tested by the NABL accredited laboratories. So it is also being mentioned in all the kind of the European Union mandates as well. To get the products being tested from the ISO/IC 17025 accredited test laboratories. Then Ministry of the Health and Family Welfare, that is already all the kind of the drug testing laboratories are being accredited by NABL, cosmetics, and as per the Drug and Cosmetic Act also. And now AYUSH has also made the mandatory, Ministry of AYUSH, that all the kind of these drugs should be tested by from the NABL accredited laboratory only. Then Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, AERB, and the BARC is there. Then Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change also made mandatory BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard. It is the standard body of India. So it is also made that all the laboratories of the BIS, and in fact from where the BIS is getting this product tested, they should also be the NABL accredited. Then Telecommunication Engineering Standard, that all the kind of the telecommunication equipment also should be accredited by the NABL. Ministry of Defense, DRDO, etc., Ministry of Railways. So they are having the laboratories being accredited by the NABL for all the kind of the metal, testing and other things. Then GEM is also accepting the tenders only when you are they are producing the analysis report from the NABL accredited laboratories only. So this is the NABL website. In fact, this is enable-india.org, in which all the kind of the details have been given over there. There are the certain QCO, that is the quality control orders, that is also for the business opportunities for the laboratories. We usually publish in our NABL updates. So NABL updates is there in this publication section in the NABL website. So every month we used to publish this NABL updates where we provide the details of the QCs being given by the government. Now coming to the accreditation process is very easy. It is not a very cumbersome method, very easy. You can do your own if you are doing day-to-day routine activities. It is sufficient enough. So first you have to plan for the obtaining, how you are going to obtain accreditation, for what you want to get the accreditation. Then you will nominate a person to coordinate, who you make yourself familiar with the applied standard, that is ISO/IC 17025 or whatever the other standard. I think for the AYUSH 17025 is more applicable. Okay. And then competent personnel, technical, whosoever is there, that should be available with you. Then prepare the scope as per the NABL 120 that already I told you. Then PT, ILC, you have to participate in. PT is the proficiency testing, ILC is the inter-laboratory comparison. That is the requirement given in the NABL 163. Also, it is a standards requirement. Then your laboratory has to complete the one internal audit and the management review. And further, all the NABL documents which are available on NABL website, you must read, and accordingly you have to submit the application for the accreditation. Now accreditation application to be submitted online only. There are the certain important NABL documents I mentioned over here. That is NABL 100A, that is journal information brochure. Accreditation process and processes, that is the NABL 100B. NABL 120, that is the guidance for the classification of the product group in testing and calibration fields. NABL 131, that is the terms and conditions for obtaining and maintaining NABL accreditation. NABL 142, that is the policy on the traceability of measurement. NABL 151 is the application for the testing laboratory. NABL 163 is the policy for the participation in the PT activities. And NABL 216 is the procedure for dealing with adverse decisions. Now it is very important that how the laboratory can get the accreditation after submitting the application. So initial process, very simple process. Once you will read all the documents and you will prepare yourself, you will submit the application by using the NABL portal. I'll show you the portal later on. And once the application will be submitted by the laboratory, in short, we used to say it's CAB, then document review will be done at the enable end by the assessment team. And once the document review will be completed, then it will go to the pre-assessment of the laboratory. That is usually the preparatory kind of the assessment, usually 1 day of the assessment. And it is also the voluntary nature in case of the testing and calibration laboratory. So if you yourself think that you are completely prepared, you can skip that particular activity also. Then when all these activities will be completed, then we will step towards the initial assessment. That is the main assessment of the laboratory, which is usually having the 2 days assessment minimum, having the 2 assessors. One is of the lead assessor capacity, another is of the technical assessor. Okay, so in this particular assessment, the competency and the compliance with respect to the entire standard of the ISU IEC 17025 is being evaluated, being assessed by the assessment team of that particular laboratory for the given scope of the accreditation. And if any kind of the non-conformity is there, that is the non-compliance with respect to the requirement of the standard or the NABL requirements, then the non-conformity, that is in short, you say NC is raised, that will be communicated to the laboratory, and laboratory will be given the 30 days time for the closure of that particular NC in the form of the root cause analysis as well as the corrective actions. And further, the assessment report will be scrutinized by the NABL, and once all the NCs and everything will be closed, then the case will be presented to the accreditation committee, that is the independent committee, wherein the depending upon the NCs, depending upon the root cause analysis and the corrective action taken and other entire assessment report, the decision will be taken for the grant of the accreditation to the laboratory. And further, this will be approved by the NABL competent authority for the accreditation, and finally NABL will issue the accreditation certificate with scope of accreditation to that particular laboratory. In entire case, 6 times I have given this double arrows, that is information to the CAP, and finally necessary corrective action. So wherever any kind of the non-conformity or the non-compliance will be there, it will be raised in the form of the NC, where the laboratory has to take the corrective actions. Now, NABL is having the accreditation is validity is for 4 years. Now, so 4-year validity we will be giving, and now every year there will be the on-site surveillance, and every 2 years we are conducting the reassessment of that particular laboratory. So online, there is a enable website, enable-india.org. So wherein this is our website. So here you will see, I think that is not there, pointer. So here you can see there is apply online, blue box with green. Click here is there in center. So here you have to click, and finally you will be redirected to the new portal, that is the enable portal for submission of the online application. And finally you will apply for the accreditation. You will log in, and in login you will register yourself like that you are using the banking system, internet system. And in will then further you will give your details of the laboratory, including the name, type of the laboratory, like already we discussed, private laboratory, government laboratory, or the other laboratory. Then there is the discipline, like chemical and biological is there, already we discussed. Then scope of the accreditation, the entire scope, like chemical, how many parameters you are going to apply for the accreditation, similarly in biological. Then organization detail, like your top management or other technical persons detail you will give. Then equipment is there, equipment, what kind of the equipment are being used with respect to the scope of accreditation, along with their calibration detail also you are going to provide. And then also it will ask about the RM, reference materials, any kind of the CRMs or the other reference material being used for the for doing that particular activity or particular test parameter. Then quality control activity, any kind of the IQC you are doing, internal quality checks, as well as the PT proficiency testing, or the ILC, that is interlaboratory comparison you are doing, or what score or what performance score you have obtained, that you have to list over there in this particular list. Then enclosure is there. So in enclosure, once you will submit all the things in line as per the requirement, it will give a green tick. So it is asking for the legal identity also. Legal identity, for example, you are the government organization or the private or society act or the LFP or the OPC, whatever is there. Then scope of accreditation along with the test method. So here it is very important. Whatever the test parameter you are going to specify in the scope of accreditation, it should be always accompanied with the specific product and also the specific method. By virtue of that, you are going to do that particular test. For example, API if you are using, or you are using the IP, or you are using the USP, or whatever the test method you are, or you are using the IS standard test method, or you are using the in-house test method, whatever you are going to use, you have to specify over there. Then further, if it is a quantitative test, then you have to specify the range of the testing as well as the measurement uncertainty as well. senior management designation and contact details, staff and the personnel, that is for the signing of the test report, that is the technical person, organization chart of your laboratory, equipment, reference material, then traceability. Traceability, like equipment is there, calibration is required, or in case of the other reference material, how it is traceable to the SI units that you have to mention. Quality control activity, already we discussed about the PT, IMC, and the IQCs. Then internal audit details, management review, that is the requirement of the standard, and then QMS file, that is the quality management system file or the management system document, or in short, you can say the quality manual as well. You have to give the details. And further, there is the signing of the contract, that is terms and condition, not contract, terms and condition for obtaining and maintaining enable accreditation, that is the enable 131, that is the declaration you will be given. So finally, your application will be submitted, and once it will be submitted, then whole process which I told you earlier, like this one, the entire process will be started. Okay. So enable, you can also search the laboratories, testing laboratory or calibration or whatever the accredited laboratory is there in enable website under the laboratory search. Laboratory search option is there in which you can search any kind of the laboratory. You can simply put the keyword also. You can, if you know the name of the laboratory, if you know the ID, you know the certificate number or field. So by virtue of the any kind of the permutation combination, you can search any kind of the laboratory. And in this particular search option, you will also get the laboratory scope as well as the certificate that is publicly available. So if you want to check the authenticity of that particular test report, that you can check over here, whether that laboratory is accredited for that particular parameter or not. Okay. So there are some enable recognition programs has also been initiated. That, for example, enable medical entry-level testing labs. That is MELT lab program. That is for the medical laboratories which are just entering into the system of the accreditation. So initially they will be given the recognition by the NABL. Once 3 years, it is for the 3 years basically. Once the 3 years will be completed, then they will come for the accreditation as per the relevant standard. Then government block level drinking water testing laboratory, like I told you about the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, so they have made mandatory. So initially for their block level, at least we are giving the recognition, and afterwards they will come for the accreditation. Then soil testing laboratories, like our Honorable Prime Minister has given this mandate, Swasth Dhara Ke Dhara, 2020, I think, more before 2020, 2018, I think. That is in the Rajasthan, Surat. So basically, that is aiming for this health card, soil health card. Okay. So in this, the soil will be tested for different kind of the parameters for the betterment of their, kind of nutrition aspect, whether they are appropriate with respect to the fertilizing crop or not. So this is the enable soil testing recognition program, in which we give the accreditation to these soil testing laboratories in terms of the soil health card benefit. Then recognition of the temporary site laboratories testing aggregate and the concrete in the building projects. Okay, so this initiative we have started last year. So as far as the drug and cosmetic act, there's a little bit about your Ayush particularly. If we will see in the drug and cosmetic act, this part 160A, that is approval for the institution of carrying out tests on the Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs, raw material used in their manufacture on behalf of the licenses for the manufacture for the sale of the Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. So 160A is specifically talking about that application for grant or renewal of approval for carrying out tests on the identity, purity, quality and the strength of the ASU medicine. Okay, so further, that is purity, identity, purity, quality, and the strength. All these parts are covered under the NABL accreditation. Then further, the Gazette of India, that has been 160A. It is telling, I have highlighted this particular part, that the facilities as required for the quality control section as laid down under the Schedule T and accredited by the NABL for the category of chemical and biological testing for identity, purity, quality, and strength of Ayurvedic medicine, Ayurvedic, Siddha, and Unani drugs and raw materials. Okay, so this is the requirement of the drug and cosmetic with respect to the enable accreditation. Now, how the enable will be beneficial to authenticate those 4 aspects, that is the identity, purity, quality, and the strength. That is, first is the test fitness. So whenever the enable assessment is being conducted, enable asks the demonstration. In the accreditation definition, I told you about the demonstration of the competency, demonstration of the impartiality, and demonstration of the consistent operation. So in the form of the test fitness, we evaluate this, we assess this particular thing, that whether you are capable of doing that particular thing or not. Competency of the person, already it is the integral part. If the person would be competent, he or she is able to do the things as per the written down procedure of the standard test method. Then metrological capability in the calibration of the equipment. Again, it is the standard requirement that whatever the equipment you are participating in the proficiency testing if it is available nationally or internationally. And then also you are participating in the ILC, that is inter-laboratory comparison. So it is for the ensuring of the validity of the results, that your results are comparable between the laboratories or with respect to the proficiency testing participation. Then quality management system, like I already told you, that in each standard the quality management system is the integral part. So ultimately you are having the robust quality management system, so that the entire system, entire laboratory is under the controlled way, doing the all the kind of the operation, whether it is technical and the management. So ultimately, NABL is assessing the laboratory in virtue of all these 5 aspects and giving the accreditation to ensure that the laboratory is competent for that particular drug testing. So as whatever the things you are doing for the evaluation as per the Drug and Cosmetic Act for this, this purity and all the things, purity, strength, and other things. Okay. As well as NABL accredited laboratories under the AYUSH groups are concerned, so far in chemical 99 laboratories are there, and in biological 77 laboratories are there. And now the NABL, by virtue of this kind of the platform, we are trying our best to get all these AYUSH testing laboratories will come under the accreditation as per the ISO IC 17025 2017. So with this, thank you very much to all of you for patience listening. I hope I could have completed within the time. And thank you, Dr. Lalit and Dr. Director Saab of this institute, and for inviting NABL on this platform. And on the back end, I am grateful to Mr. Pankaj Jori sir, who is the director of NABL Medical Vertical, and who has given me this to deliver this particular talk on this platform. And also thankful to CEO NABL, Mr. N. Venkateshwaran, who is always a guiding force for this kind of the NABL awareness among the stakeholders. With this, thank you very much to all of you. If any question is there, I would like to answer. Sir. No, sir. NABL is a separate. NABL is for testing point of view. Whatever the testing laboratories are there. But NABH is for the hospital. That is NABH, we are having a separate. Laboratories there, NABL, they have to take separate. DNC for the AYUSH testing laboratory. Yes. Yes. This is 168. For SSL. For SSL, you can submit your application to NABL. So, can you switch okay, I'll let you know. So, there is NABL website. Whosoever want to assess that, no, it's okay. Sir, excuse me. Sir, excuse me. Already Binichi is the assessor, so you can take this help also. Otherwise, in NABL website, you will go. There is a assessor training program has been there. In this, you can click on that. It will direct you to the link where you can submit your application. And application, because NABL assessor is the requirement, and it will also be scrutinized as per the letdown procedure. So once you will be selected for that, you will be prompted for that. On the website, we have given the complete list. You can check that. I can show you separately. That includes 4 years. Validity is for 4 years now. Earlier we were giving for the 2 years. Now it is for 4 years. Validity is for 4 years. Every year we are doing the surveillance, on-site surveillance, and then 2 years we are doing the reassessment. always apply through website that is for the scope reduction. That is the provision has been given. So any kind of the activity, like there could be the change in the name of the laboratory, there could be the change in the legal identity of the laboratory, there can be the change in the premises of the laboratory, like location, because accreditation is location specific. So if you have changed your address, then also, and if there is a change in the person has retired or left the organization, then you can also apply. And then any additional person you want to incorporate for the signing of the test report, that also you can apply. You want to increase the scope of accreditation, like earlier you were having the 10 parameters, now you want to increase the 10 more, or you want to delete the parameters from where you are not getting the business of the kind of the testing product. Then ultimately you can also decrease the scope, that is reduction of the scope. Any kind of the changes is permissible in the enable portal. There is the application link we have given. Directly you have to click onto that and you can apply that. It is a procedural requirement. We cannot skip any. PT is the mandatory requirement as per the standard. If there is enable 163 in which we have given the guidelines, if PT is available, then laboratory has to participate in the PT along with ILC. If PT is not there, then you can participate in ILC. But your is the referral laboratory, na? Then you should initiate about the proficiency testing provider. In biobanking only, that is related with all the kind of the preservation, like biobank, like all these plant, animals, and seeds, microorganisms, fungi, all these things will be banked over there. So there is a standard ISO 237. That is preservation only. Like there are the several biobank is there in India. If you want more detail, you can check with the animal. You can send me one email. I will give you the phone. Invitation for our chemistry laboratory on ash gas, electrical ash, other physiochemical gas. So, sir, presently we do not have any opening person with our laboratory. Do we need any opening person? So we are getting the herb. We are going to take the herb of that. No, it is your requirement to get the person, competent person. Enable will come, whatever the scope we will apply, enable will come, will check. If you will not having the competent person, definitely we will be absent to give the accreditation. So it is the laboratory responsibility to have all the kind of the facilities, personal equipment, CRM, RM, whatever is requirement of the standard. Laboratory's responsibility to maintain all this. So if standard is with you, you can check with the close 6.2 personal. Anytime you can submit the application for reduction in this. Then new scope will be issued to you with amendment. Any other question? Sir, any question, sir? No question? This side, any question? So still, if you do have any question or any query, you can always write to us. No issue. Again. Sure. In the meantime, also, if we can have any question or any query. I didn't understand. You are talking about the fees for enable accreditation, right? So enable fee structure has been given in enable 100A. Okay, so usually we have a defined, there is no kind of like one person is there in the laboratory or 10% are there. Fees is uniform for all. So you can refer that document. Yes, ma'am. No. If person has been moved from that particular laboratory, then deletion of that particular person has to be applied separately, and then addition of another person or addition at the new location for that person has to be applied. Not understood, please. नहीं, एक्सपीरियंस में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन वहां पे एनेबल उसको ऑथराइज करेगा फॉर सिग्नेटरी के लिए, वो उसके लिए कुछ भी प्रोसेस एनेबल कैन एम्प्लॉय, लाइक एनेबल कैन डॉक्यूमेंट बेसिस पे भी कर सकते हैं, इंटरव्यू बेसिस पे भी कर सकते हैं, या फिर असेसमेंट भी कर सकते हैं उसके लिए.
Thank you, sir, for your such a nice presentation on enable accreditation for the IUS laboratories. So, Director sir has just joined us. So, I would request Director sir to kindly say some words to the participants.
Good morning, all. I think today again we have listened a very fruitful lecture of Dr. Pankaj, who belongs to our National Accreditation Board for the laboratories under the QCI. And you know that we wanted that every type of exposure has to be given to our trainees. That's why we have every time given one lecture of related to the laboratories also. Either it is of GLP or it is about the NABL. That's what, because nowadays it is the prime requirement of all the laboratories. Either it is of allopathic medicines laboratories of private sector or government sector, or it is our IH laboratories, that all have to go to NABL accreditation one day as per the decisions of the QCI and the government of India. So definitely it is very, likewise, you know that all hospitals has to be taken NABH. So then only you have to say that your laboratory is at par with any other international laboratory. So that ISO 17025 competence laboratory of yours. So I think everything already Dr. Pankaj has given a lecture to you, and hope you all will whosoever the authorities of different states who will go to their laboratories of Ayush laboratories very soon as a NAPL laboratory. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would request the Director. Thank you, sir.
Today in the afternoon, the time of electrical function, you will also meet the director of NAPL, what is the Dr. Pankaj Jory.
So our next lecture will be on the standardization. The participants has already submitted their training fees and guest house fees. Okay, because today is the last day, so this is our responsibility also to verify the thing. वी विल सेंड ए मेल सर, वी विल सेंड ए मेल. बस आप इतना बता दीजिएगा कि कौन कौन आ जाओ रुक रहा है, तो बाई नेम वी विल सेंड द ईमेल. ठीक है सर, आप 2 हैं और आप हैं सर, 3 ना. यस.
Bye everybody. All the best to all of you.
3 पार्टिसिपेंट्स हमारे आज और रुकेंगे ना सर, उनका चेकआउट कल होगा. ठीक है, एचआरडीसी गेस्ट हाउस से. बाकी यहाँ में तो कोई इशू नहीं है, बिकॉज ये तो हमारा इन हाउस है. तो आई होप यू आर ऑल्सो एंजॉइंग द फूड. आपको खाना भी पसंद आ रहा होगा हमारे ECMH का. Welcome, sir. This is the second lecture of our last day of our 5 days capacity building training program. The lecture will be on the needs for comprehensive standardization strategies for the Siddha formulation. The lecture will be delivered by the Dr. V. Vijay Kumar. He is the scientific officer in the Siddha system of medicine. He is the MD in Siddha system of medicine. He is dedicatedly associated with the Siddha Pharmacopoeia of India and Siddha Formulary of India. Sir is having the vast experience in the Siddha system of medicine. So I would request sir to share his views on the comprehensive standardization strategies for the Siddha formulations.
Morning all. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Siddha medicine. Please. What? Okay. Okay. These are for me, sir. Okay. So is there mostly from industry somebody will be there? Ayurveda. Yes sir. Yes sir. Both Ayurveda and Siddha is being manufactured in Kantigiri, and they have, yes. Okay. This session will be mostly throwing some bird's eye view of Siddha, what is Siddha and what are the dosage forms in Siddha. So many of you may be aware of this, or you may be interested in knowing this. It will be helpful for you. And just I will be mainly dealing about the dosage forms, mainly used in Siddha, and some of the unique dosage forms exclusively found in Siddha. So initially, I want to just brief about this definition on traditional medicine, where it has been internationally accepted that the traditional medicine is the sum total of the knowledge or skill, which is based on the theories and experiences mainly indigenous to different cultures. Yet, this is the definition given in the international arena, where the focus is on the indigenous to different cultures. So, based on the different cultures and the system practiced in the different regions of the world, the traditional medicines have been categorized. So, coming out the Siddha system of medicine, it was actually supposed to be originated from Lord Shiva, and actually Agastya, the sage Agastya is considered to be the father figure of Siddha. And as you all know, it is rooted in the Dravidian culture, and mostly the Siddha texts are in Tamil language, and some of the texts are found in Malayalam also. And it is being practiced in practice widely in Tamil Nadu and the surrounding states, and even Sri Lanka and some parts of Malaysia. So this is a framework created by the certain group of people named as Siddhas, and they have been mentioned as 18 in numbers, and more than this, we have some even 50, 58 names of Siddhas also mentioned along with this list. So based on the mode of application and the dosage forms, in Siddha system we have 32 types of internal medicine and 32 types of external dosage forms and therapies. And Siddha system of medicine has like the other traditional system of medicine, we have the concept of the 5-element theory, Panchabhutam, and the Arusuvai, which is the 6 phase of the drug or even the whatever the body parameter or any drug which is being used. So this is also based on this main 2 concepts. And as far as the dosage forms are concerned, especially the Nattu Charaka and Pagai Charaka, that is a synergism and the antagonist effect of drugs between the drugs, is also been mentioned for in all the production preparation methods and also in the treatment aspect. So this, according to the classical text, it is any Siddha physician, Siddha doctor should know the concepts of Vadam, Vaidyam, Yogam and Tattvam. These are the 4 pillars they have mentioned in Siddha system of medicine, where the Vadam is regarding the alchemy and the Vaidyam is regarding the medicine, the drugs part, and the Yogam is regarding the yoga and the other asanas, and the Tattvam is the philosophical part, which is not, which is actually commonly we can relate it to philosophy, but Tattvam is knowing about the truth. And this is based on all the logics and the arguments with Guru and Shishya, that is also there. So these main pillars they have mentioned in Siddha, that is also being defined in WHO definitions also. So in considered to the pharmacology part, that is a medicinal part, it is called as Gunapadam in Siddha, that includes all plant origin drugs and also metal mineral origin drugs and some animal origin drugs. So in this part, we may be dealing with the dosage forms, different dosage forms used in Siddha. And you can find this as a hydrochemistry is a specialization found in Siddha well before the other traditional system of medicine. So according to the Siddha concept, the human body is the replica of the universe. The Andathil ullade Pindam. Andam is the universe and Pindam is the body, physical body. And it is made of the 5 elements. And as you all know, according to Ayurveda also it is there, and in all other traditional medicine concepts also it is there. When the proportion of the elements present in the drugs vary, it is responsible for the effect and also side effect. So as I said, in Siddha system of medicine also, common concept about Siddha system was actually I found that many of the public, they understood that Siddha medicine is dealing with only metal mineral drugs. but it is not like that. It is also similar to other traditional system of medicine, and it also involves drugs of plant origin, metal and mineral origin, and animal origin drugs. As I said, that is called as Muligai. The plant origin drugs are called Muligai in Tamil, and Thadu, that is a metal mineral origin drug, and Sivam is animal origin drug. So this actually is the basic concept in Siddha where we follow in the treatment aspect and also in any of the household remedies also. That is a where paru, tadai paru, minjinakkal, mella mella parpun sinduram paru. That is the meaning is that initially any treatment should start with a simple medicinal herbs, that is any root or leaf, and later on, if it is not giving any good result, then we should go for higher order drugs like Parpam and Chanduram, which Ayurvedic fellows may know that it is similar to that Basma. And this is the category we have. And apart from this, we have many other formulations for regarding calcination also. And this is basically the drugs are explained in 5 characteristics, where the taste of the drug, suvai, and the gunam, that is the quality of the drug, and the potency, that is the virium of the drug, and the pirivu, that is vibhagam, that is a secondary metabolite or the secondary action on the body, and the Seigai. Seigai is the action, therapeutic action. So this in Siddha also various procedures are being applied. As you all know that regarding the Putha process in Ayurveda and Unani also they follow that some the procedures. In Siddha also we do all the calcination, sublimation, distillation, and fermentation also it is being in practice, and all incineration of metals, liquefaction, extraction, that is also being used. And as I said earlier, this is a traditional system of medicine, one of the ancient systems where the higher accuracy formulations involving metal minerals combined with plant origin drugs that is being in use, and the herbs which are used on priority basis, and later on the metal minerals formulations are used when it is in the chronic stage or uncontrolled conditions. And as per the text in Bogar Karasara Turai, there is an ancient text where 220 mineral origin drugs have been categorized into different categories, where the metals and the Karasaram, that is regarding the acidic and alkaline salt, and the gems used in medicine, that is a Navamani, and Padanangal, that is the Pashanam, that is used in medicine, and the bioorganic compounds, that is called as Uparasam. Just the categories I want to just mention, go through this briefly about the internal medicine types only. I am not dealing about the external medicines in this session now. So regarding the internal medicines, we have different categories, as I said initially, with a shorter shelf life. We have that Surasam, Charu, Kudini. This is a Surasam is the one where herbal juices are boiled and taken immediately. And charu is the one extract juice extract of that any herbal material, and the kudineer is the decoction, kashaya, kwata. And in that also we have one subcategory as the adai kudineer, which is fermented one, and decoctions are being fermented and used. And karkam is the herbal paste where the medicinal leaves, mostly leaves, are ground into paste and administered directly to the patient. And Utkali is the one where the preparation is made with medicinal plants, and it is made as a little bit of it is a pan-like pancake-like consistency, but it forms a dry surface over the outer area, and the inner it will be the fresh one, that wet moss will be there. That is also used. Pain also in internal also. For pain external applications, they have this. Yes, yes. And the next one is the adai. This is a typical pancake type of thing where different medicinal plant origin drugs are used and made as along with rice or wheat. They made as a pancake. That is called as adai in Tamil. And the common one is the churanam, where the medicinal plants are finely ground and used. And the same one, when it is a steam boiled, it is a pit. That is a dosage form in Siddha, where the steamed form of the churanam is being used. This is also almost a shorter duration, shorter shelf life dosage form. And the vadakam is the lozenges type of thing, where the chewable medicinal formulations are being administered in the name of vadakam. And the vennai, this is the consistency. They are actually vennai. It is commonly known as butter equivalent, and the medicines are being prepared in the form of consistency of the butter. Mainly, it is mostly it is used in the external application, and some of the formulations which are used in inflammatory conditions, that is also for internal purpose, that is also there in this dosage form. Different different formulations are there. In one formulation, we can see that Fungulium, Shoria robusta, that is being melted and churned in water, and it will be giving a butter-like of consistency, where it can be applied on the inflammatory conditions and also taken internally. That is a typical Shoria robusta only. But apart from this, we have external applications with beeswax, and that is also called as a vennai dosage form, and it is being used for external applications, especially with mercurial compounds. And we have one category as the monopagu, that is similar to that syrup consistency, and nei, which is grita in Ayurveda, that is a medicated ghee. And we have a category as rasayanam, that is also similar to that electrolyte type of thing, the avaleha, ilagam type of thing. And it is actually given in any chronic conditions that should be used. And the ilagam is the avaleha type of category, and it is also similar. The process is similar, where jaggery or sugar will be used for making it the ilagam consistency. And the next one is the ennai. This is the nei. This is the different. Actually, nei is commonly used for both ghee preparation and also oil preparation. So this ennai or xylem, these two terminologies are used in Siddha as the dosage forms, where the medicated oils are being administered. Both internal and external usage are there. And the next one is the common used one, Mathirai. Mathirai is the pills, regular tablet for pills that is used. That is called as Mathirai. And the next specific category we have, that is the Kadugu. That is the actually in Tamil, the Kadugu is literally meaning that mustard. But this dosage form, it is meaning that mustard size granules which we obtain after boiling the herbal composition with any oil or herbal juices being. And we collect that sediments, actually, that is a filtrate that is being used in mostly it is used as the external medicine. And the next one is the pakkuvam. This is a processed drug, where pakkuvam is anything regarding a plant origin drug which is processed in a herbal juice or any distillates, and it is being used as a in the form of powder or also semi-liquid form. And the next one is the tenural, which is a common home remedy. We have that even ginger with honey, or that we have that sarsaparilla nannari, what you call, I don't know, hemidesmus, that we use it as a tenural. And teeni, that is a distillates, where mostly herbal materials are mixed together, and the process of distillation is done, and the distilled product is used. And the similar one is the dravakam, where dravakam or cyanide, we have that category where it is a mostly of the salts are being distilled, and the product obtained by the distillation is being used. And this is mostly it is not directly used as a dosage form. It is being used in preparation of other higher order drugs for the making of perform or syndrome. And the exclusive dosage forms like Medugu, it is there. Medugu, actually, we call it as waxy consistency formulation, where even the common dosage form, one commonly used, extensively used dosage form is the Rasagandhi Medugu in Siddha, where it is used for a number of diseases and skin problems. And it is actually processed with herbal and mineral origin drugs, pounded with along with jaggery and little bit of honey. So it comes to a waxy consistency, and we use that internally. The next one is a kurampu. It is a semi-liquid form where the similar type of dosage forms from a plant origin drugs mostly with combined with mineral wherever admissible, and it is also the semi-liquid form in the sense it may have honey, or it may have oil like castor oil or something. It is administered in that form. The next one is the Chenduram, what I called as the um, equivalent to the Basma. There we have categories of Chenduram and Parfum, where the Chenduram will be mostly the calcined oxides or sulfides, where it will be red in color. It should be of red in color. That is a characteristic of Chenduram. And the Parfum, it will be of white color, where mostly it will be of carbonate. And the next is the 2 or 3 drugs which is of higher order drugs are Kattu, Urukku, Kalangu, which is not of in a common practice now, but little bit it is being revived now with many traditional practitioners and our graduates joining hand together and making the documentation now regarding the Kattu, Urukku and Kalangu. So these are all higher order drugs where even a single small dose will cure many diseases. Where it may be traditionally many people would have seen that especially in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and the Kerala area, we have that traditional practices in the age-old practice. They have that one kit they will be having on box. In that different types of kattus they will be having, and it may be of gold, swarna kattu, tanga kattu, and velli kattu, and even the Chinabar linga kattu. Everything will be there, and according to the patient physique and condition, they'll be having that drug with rubbing with stone along with some herbal medicines also. They'll be having the number of pounds. So one rubbing or 2 rubbing, they'll be just doing that, and it should be just pasted liquid on the tongue. That is a single dose. It is seen as 2 or 3 doses. That's all. It is a higher order drugs, but unfortunately we lost that actually the techniques, and little bit we are trying to revive that now. And the chunnam is commonly used. That is also a calcined compound. And regarding karpam and sattu, that is a rejuvenating drug we use with herbal or metal mineral origin. And the last one is the gurukulige, where mercurial compounds, mercury and mercurial compounds are made as a bead. That is also used as a gurukulige. Yes, sir. Parfum, yes, the major difference is that the chunnam is a highly what do you call it? Is the alkali. So even it may oxide form, but chunnam is a little bit what is it? Karatanmai, Tamil Karatanmai. That is a little bit higher in that. So and in that testing parameters also for chunnam, if you mix it with honey, turmeric, it will give you a red color. Parfum will not give. Yes, it should be highly alkaline. That chunnam is highly alkaline. So just briefing about the specific dosage forms used in Siddha, that is the Chanduram, Chunnam, Kalangu, Karpam, Karuppu. Karuppu is one of the dosage form where it is actually now, as per the formulary, it is taken into that separate dosage form, but only few formulations are found in this category. We have, but it is in extensive use, where Sivanaramirtham and Pattukaruppu, there is a 2 formulations mainly in common use in Siddha, that is coming under this Karuppu category, because commonly it is used as it is called because of the color of the medicine. And the other forms are Medusa, Perform, and Padangam. So regarding the shelf life as compared to the don't be misleaded with the Drugs and Cosmetics Act rule, the shelf life and this one. Yes, sir. This is being referred in all classical literatures in Siddha, where they even mention that it is Chunnam, it is 500 years shelf life. 500 and they have mentioned as 500 and 500 years. Definitely, sir. Something they have mentioned regarding similar, we can correlate with that of half-life of that metal or something like that. So we do not know. We have no studies have been done in that because still in our lifespan we could not see that being done. And then perform also you can see that it is 100 years. It is mentioned as Nuran. So we have this classical reference for this thing, but as far as regulatory part is concerned, we have to stick on to the drugs and cosmetic rules where these things have been reduced to 10 years for performance Chanduram, and mostly it is maximum it is 10 years, and it may be extended further with proper documentation. And I want to just address specific type of process standardization, which has been already mentioned in classical text of Siddha. This is one of the texts where we the reference is Therai Yamagavenba. There you can find 4 or 5 lines of a poem type of thing. That is, you may call it as in Ayurveda, you call it as sloka. We call it as a sayud in Tamil. It will be a 4 lines only. That all the phrases will be combined into 4 line of stanzas, and in that it will be mentioning about the raw material to be taken and which quantity, and in which quantity that grinding has to be done, and what is the duration, and what is the puta, and what is the adjuvant and the therapeutic use. Only in the 4 lines of the Tamil literature we can find that everything in this. Whatever I have mentioned, suppose example, this is the Aya perfume, that is the iron based perfume. There were 4 different herbal juices are used for bhavna, and they mentioned that the quantity of the herbal juice to be taken or the decoction to be taken, and how many days it has to be saturated, and the disc tablets how many days it has to be dried, and the after sealing with the mud clay pots, and how many days it has to be dried, and how many number of cow dung cake, that variety it should be used for making that puta. These things have been mentioned for mainly the performance Chanduram in this classical text Terere Maganba, where extensively you can use, you can see that within that 4 lines or 5 lines of that poem, you can see everything in that regarding that formulation. So that's the example 1 or 2 I am showing. This is Ayachanduram, where they have mentioned nearly some 7 to 8 herbal decoctions. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. 7 column. Yes, sir. No, actually it is 48 only. According, even you can find these things in Siddha Formulary of India, where we have given this metric equivalent. And one more recent activity that has been initiated by Central Council for Research in Siddha from Chennai and National Physical Laboratory in Delhi. They have come together to work on this metric equivalent, to validate this metric equivalent. Whatever the traditional metric equivalents have been, metric measures have been found, thus that they are being taken and being validated. Now they have initiated that work. Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. In formulary, we have mentioned that. In the formulary, we have taken that as an annexure also, and also in the formulations, wherever possible, we have made that as equivalent metric equivalents we have mentioned. So in this just example, I have taken the classical text reference where it has been mentioned in column. So this is regarding the Chanduram, where 7 to 8 herbal juices and decoctions are being used, and the similar type of the quantity how many days it should be ground, and what is the drying duration, and the what is the number of variety, that is the cow dung cake, to be used in the puta. And this, I think in most of the traditional medicines they have, especially in Siddha and Ayurveda, we have this. This is the dose equivalent, which dose should be, the medicine has to be administered. For that, they have correlated with that the traditional grains what we use. Actually, the samai arsi is the one. सामे का चावल जो होता है वो है. That is the dose for that higher perform. That is a single grain of that सामे के चावल जो है उसका single grain जो है उसका weight equivalent वो देना है. That is the best dose for higher perform. Then if it is a thinai is the one, I think it is called as fox millet. That is a minimal moderate dose where it can be administered. But regarding the paddy rice size, it should be not administered. It may cause the side effect. This has been mentioned in the classical text. What I said earlier, that Sarai Ramaganda. And interestingly, you can see this in many of the Siddha formulations, especially Parfum Chanduram. For a single drug, they would have mentioned 26 different adjuvants and different therapeutic usage for that single drug. So this is for Parfum Chanduram, and even one Agasthyar Kodambu, one actually purgative medicine is there. It is it has a composition of 48 drugs of metal and mineral origin also, and plant origin also. This that drug has been mentioned in the classical text with 48 number of different adjuvants and different therapeutic actions. So most of you may be knowing that herbo mineral formulations, especially we stress on this herbo mineral because that is a characteristic. They have the special features of minimal dosage administration that may cause that may have a good impact on the curing factor of that treatment aspect, and the tastelessness of the medicine. The performance syndrome don't have any taste, unlike this plant origin drug, where it will be bitter or anything astringent, typical taste, which is not palatable for the patient. And it has a quick absorption, as I said, but just licking on the tongue, it may have a good effect, therapeutic effect, and this of longer shelf life, as we have seen, and this wide range of therapeutic efficacy. With a single drug, you can manage clinic with the different adjuvants. So this is also easy for storage because mostly if you have a 10 grams of Parfum or Sinduram, you can use it for many patients with minimal dosage. So as you all know, this is the common concept in all the traditional medicine. It should be a personalized one. It's not. It is not a generalized one. That is the main concept in any of the traditional medicine over the world. And it should be, especially in Siddha, it is in accordance with the climate variations, habitat, and the body constitution, and the Mukutra. So we have, as I said, that different concepts in administration of dosage forms, where we use that as a preliminary, the Yegamuli Prayogam, that is a single drug concept is there. When initial stages, it is only single drug is used, and when it is going for a multiple thing, it is it is called as a formulation, and the process involving that Nattu Charakan Pagacharaka, that is in Siddha, it is called as Nattu Charakan Pagacharaka, that is antagonism synergism. That is commonly you can Ayurvedic people may understand with the Marana Prayogam, and the process involving distilled the Dravakam. That is a Dravakam in the sense it is mainly the dosage form, but it is used in preparation of other higher order drugs like performance syndrome. And the process involving Sayani, this is also similar type of distillate product where the salts are being used as similar to the Dravakam, and the Sayani is the one, it may not be go for distillation process. It may be prepared with just exposing it to sunlight or moonlight. That extract obtained from that composition of salt mixtures, it will be taken up. And the last one is peculiar dosage form in Siddha, actually it is not commonly used for treatment aspect in directly, as it is a mukku. That is called preparation involving 3 different salts, but it is mainly used as a catalyst, or it may be a enhancer for this performance endurum preparation. So this is what I call that Udogamarnam and need, and just we'll skip on to this. So as far as the standardization of this Siddha medicine, Siddha formulation, again the same problem arises similar to all other traditional system of medicines, where we have the major challenges in standardizing these formulations. So as you all know, this all through this 4 or 5 days, you may be um, uh, witnessing about these standardization problems and challenges. And as you all know, in your practice, because you are practically involved people in the field, and you may be knowing about the main challenges you are facing with the standardization and also regulatory part. So I wanted to address these limitations as we found in the formulations, where it is mostly it is a mixture of many constituents, and active principles or therapeutic markers are not known, and still it is the debate where whether to include this or not. And the selective analytical methods may not be available commercially, because the dosage specific parameters or dosage specific analysis should be categorized, and little bit we have tried with our pharmacopoeia, and we have fixed that which is feasible for industry and also for a standardization purpose. So apart from that, we need some other parameters which can be uh, utilized or maybe made into practice for common usage in industries. It should be economically feasible and also easy for the analyst to perform. And in turn, for just to cut short the period of that analysis, what are the parameters we have to see, that we have to explore. And as you all know, that the cultivars, where the different cultivars exist, we cannot fix the standards for any plant origin drugs. This is also main criteria for even metal mineral origin drugs also. So even in animal origin drug, we face that problem of biodiversity everywhere. That problem arises now. The procurement of animal origin drugs itself is the main criteria, and also similarly the metal mineral origin drugs also. So the limitation, just as you were asked, what is the difference between performance and even for different formulations of perform, we cannot chemically we cannot identify it as that is a Muthu perform or Pavla perform. That is, Muthu perform is made from pearl, and the Pavlam is made from coral. But that Kangu is the one normal shank. So that all the three will be chemically, it will be calcium carbonate, some organic mixtures in a complex form, but uh, they have different therapeutic use. It should, example for Muthu perform, it is used for any pitta diseases, where we administer it for any inflammatory condition or any ulcerations, everything. But in Pavlopustam, it is used only in kapha origin diseases. So this actually they have two different therapeutic actions, but chemically it is same. So this is the limitation we have, and mainly we have only mostly we rely on the destructive methods for especially the ergo mineral formulations, where the destructive methods only it is used in uh, pharmacopoeia also. But as far as concerned, metal ergo mineral combinations, it is advisable to go for any non-destructive method, but as on date it is more expensive, and we cannot conclude that with the analysis whether it can be used for the same therapeutic use or not. So in that way, we have to explore other, because for creating evidence-based medicine, we need support of other analytical techniques also. Where yesterday there was a lecture on pharmacology also, I think. in silico studies, because that plays a major role now, because we do not know what is the therapeutic action, but in turn we cannot go for a double-blind study in as far as traditional medicine. If there are many constraints in conducting a double-blind randomized study, clinical trial in traditional medicine, but instead we can go for this in silico studies, where we can have a mimic structure, where we can assume that whether the drug has a action on this pathway or not. So similarly, there was a study in Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. There was a, actually invention, patented invention called a herboprint, which is a HPLC-based technique, where the scientist has discovered that, invented that technique for creating a database for if you give a single herbal medicine or a compound formulation, he will he will have the technique being used for analyzing that sample, and he will be giving the interpretation in terms of Tridosha. That has been patented by CSIR, but unfortunately, that has not been validated further and utilized, not utilized in Indian system of medicine field. But such type of techniques may be explored further. This is what the limitation teaches us, but it is too far. And this would have been addressed, and specific I want to mention about the Siddha concept, where the last one is regarding the geographical areas. They have classified 5 different areas, 5 different regions, from which the area, from which region the plant drugs are being collected, are being processed. That also impacts. This is also one of the concepts mentioned in the literature. And these are all the factors we see that clinically we have seen that it is affecting the efficacy of the drug. So simple example, that is a Adadota leaf we use in Siddha. That is Adadota monopagal formulation is used, and a simple Adadota juice is being used, and the karkam, the leaf paste, is also being used. But that is being documented in Siddha literature also, and it has been substantiated with the scientific publication, where the alkaloid composition varies seasonally, where February and March, when it collected during that Masi Panguni in summer month, the February and March, the content is very less and the therapeutic efficacy is also less. But comparatively, in August, September, and October, it is of high quality, and the therapeutic efficacy also good. So this may have an impact on collection of drugs and also preparation of the drug. And industry people, if they concentrate on this, they may have some good quality products. And as you all know, the nature of drug and the adjuvant, it makes a much difference in treatment aspect and also preparation aspect. And the last one is regarding adulteration, where you all commonly come across those things in day-to-day life now. And especially for a herbo-mineral combination or a typical metal-mineral formulation, we should follow the process steps, whatever has been mentioned in the classical text, as it is. And it should be prepared in the way that it should not be deviated from those texts. And for example, we have the concept of removing sodium, that is satay or sodium from mercury. We have 7 steps or 9 steps have been mentioned. That I think after coming over here, I found that it is also being used in Ayurveda also for removing the, I don't know, that is the toxic effect of mercury, or do not have a proper documentation on this. But unless you do this, it will not be a complete herbo-mineral formulation or metal-mineral formulation. And it may have some major impact on the patient, where it is being administered. If it is not being administered, even when the dosage, duration, or the dose, whatever the quantity mentioned, it is not being followed. So in this, actually, you can see that it has been mentioned that if you are not purifying that mercury in those steps, it may lead to diseases like skin ailments, hemorrhoids, and neurological ailments, and respiratory ailments, and also finally death. So this should be taken care for occupational hazards also. When the industry people, when they are being involved, they should be well educated accordingly, and following the traditional classical concepts, the medicines has to be prepared with a stringent measures to be administered while doing the process. So this just I will skipping this is usually the raw material process standards and the product standards, where any industry should be aware of this, and even the uh, people from academic and research side, they should be aware of this, because whenever they are going on for a study based on any formulation or any clinical trial also, that this should be taken into consideration. And I want to address this as a, क्योंकि इसमें ना जो सिंगल फोकस इसमें नहीं जा सकते हैं कोई भी स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन के लिए. It should be of a collective measure, where in my view, it is starting from the procurement of your raw material. That is, if in nowadays we have a concept of good agricultural practice, that being, because most of the drugs are being supported for cultivation, which is for cultivars, we can go for it. And when it is only for region specific drugs, we should go for good collection practices, good field collection practices, and this should be documented well. And further, we have all the regulatory parameters, that GMP should be there, GLP should be there, and this is regarding the clinical practice, good clinical practice. Everything has an impact on the traditional medicine quality. And as you all know, this I want to just address this as a main point in challenges being faced in the traditional medicine standardization. And the last one, as you all see, that it should be stressed upon that that should be uh, uh, similarly on the controlled trials are being made for mandatory for proprietary medicine. Similarly, this manufacturing a process standard should be made as a requirement for ensuring that quality. But the process standard, we see that many industries, they have their own standard, and it should be made as a process standards that is being actually we are publishing that pharmacopoeias and formulations also. In that also we are pursuing that standard operating procedure. But when the marketing side, in the industry part, if they stick on to this process standard, mostly some of the side effects, adverse reactions could be prevented. This is what I was mentioning about this recent example of one Tabakar where there is a formulation, polyherbal formulation in Siddha. Actually, during the recent COVID situation, it was because of the time constraint and also uh, the pandemic condition. We could actually we could succeed with this type of in silico studies, and this has been documented, and same has been administered in many conditions with COVID morbidities. So this has been found effective, and later on it has been taken up for further studies also. But the base has been done with this, because traditionally the therapeutic use would have been mentioned about the Kapasuram only for this formulation. That is regarding the fever type, one of the fever type in Siddha. But whether it will be acting in this virus, specific virus, that we don't have any evidence for that. This type of studies can also be used, which is of common use now. And this age of artificial intelligence and other databases we have, so it is easy to go with this type of studies, and this can be used as evidence base for even pharmacopoeias in further future publications. So in concluding part, I wanted to address that this standardization is expensive for especially traditional medicine. The two such type of traditional medicine where plant origin drugs are used, metal minerals are used, and also animal origin drugs are used, and they have a different uh, usage, administration technique, and the different anpan or adjuvants are used. So this part of standardization is very extensive and involves contradictory theories on subject of medicine, and it should be ensured that the Drugs and Cosmetics Act and rules, whatever the rules that have been mentioned, it has to be strictly adhered to. And as main area where it is an urgent need to focus on the scientific cultivation and the collection practices, and also the process standardization techniques. And the last one is regarding the pharmacopoeial harmonization, where we have also taken up one initiative that Ministry of Ayush has recommended and initiated, that as a one herb one standard, which should be published by harmonizing all the monographs, common monographs in different pharmacopoeias. That is also being done, and this is also being taken up as the initiative at the global level as the World International Pharmacopoeias, where all the traditional medicine monographs are being harmonized. So this is a note where the WHO says that internationally acceptable standards for traditional medicine, including manufacture, registration of products, practices, and practitioners, post-market provisions, will become increasingly relevant and will provide models for international harmonization. This is being worked on for the World International Pharmacopoeia, and we are also willing to be a part of this. Sir, tea is ready. बीच में एक चिट्ठी आ गया मेरे पास. So I think for industry people it may be much of interest where we are publishing now the formulary in English also, and we are working on that, because earlier it was published only in Tamil, and the formulary, and the pharmacopoeia it is being published similar to other Ayurveda, Unani, the single drugs have been published, but we are just yet to publish pharmacopoeial monographs on formulation, the formulation that is under process now. So that will be also available. Sir? Yeah, that's what you, because of language barrier and cultural differences. Mainly it is the complete 99% text are in Tamil, and it has not been taken further beyond the state. If you compare with it, Ayurveda or Unani, Ayurveda is most yes. Yes, that's what we are facing with all traditional medicine. Whether Ayurveda, it is actually it is being an Ayurvedic physician. Whether anybody can say that it is good for commercialization, it may not be commercialized. It may not be generalized in all the traditional medicine, not only Ayurveda, Siddha. All the traditional medicine cannot be generalized. Maybe because of the need and because of the population, because of the exponential requirement, we need this to be documented, and we go for a randomized trial or documentation for a general population. Okay. Thank you all.
Any questions if you have? Okay. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Vijay sir, for such a nice presentation on the Siddha standardization. Now the time is for our last technical lecture of this capacity building training program, which is on the good manufacturing practices for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathic drugs by Dr. Sunil Vishwakarma. He is the QC head in the Shobe Homeopathy. I think we should move for the tea. Tea is ready outside there.
हमें 15-20 मिनट लगेगा.
आप लोगों देख लो सब लोग कौन सा क्या है इंस्ट्रूमेंट क्या है गैस सिलेंडर नहीं क्या है गैस सिलेंडर है क्या है तो इसमें मेंबर कौन कौन है तो इसमें ये वाला में कैसे हम लोग बनेंगे ये तो इसमें तो नहीं थे हम लोग हर एक में हर एक उसके लिए हम लोगों को बना रखा है प्रीविड मीटिंग है क्या अच्छा तो उनको सबको बोल के रखो 15 मिनट और वेट कराओ 15 मिनट वेट हेलो आपसे कुछ भी बात हो तो एक मिनट पहले करना पड़ता है ओपन हो जाना चाहिए ठीक है ठीक है ठीक ठीक हाँ बता देना कि एक बजे स्टार्ट हो जाएगा नहीं फिर जो भी जो बाहर कई लोगों को बाहर जाना है ना तो लंच करके जाएंगे ठीक टाइमिंग कर दो फिर कभी कर कभी कि 11:30 को आपको 12 अब फिर बाद में वो लगता है में घंटे में आपका 12:30 तक हो गया तो अब ये ऐसा एरिया है ना क्वेश्चन ज़्यादा है हम कह थोड़ी बड़े कम बताइए फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन जो आपके वो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता है मैं ये चेंज कर रहे हैं उसका क्या सोल्यूशन है आप इंडस्ट्री का अपना आउटपुट देंगे तो अच्छा है वहाँ पे कौन सा हाँ वो सारा तो आप लोगों को जैसे आप लोगों को जो रिपोर्टिंग होती है वो कैसे होती है आपकी अलग होती है कि आप लोग किस तरह से करते हैं जो भी वो अलग अलग नहीं होती दोनों अलग नहीं सर थैंक यू पानी है हम ले लेंगे चाय चाय भेज चाय भेज चाय ठीक है सर चाय कर दो और हमारे में विदाउट शुगर वाला हमारा भी सर गड़बड़ हो पहले कंपनी पॉलिसी वगैरह हाँ उसमें डिफरेंट वर्टिकल वो प्रोडक्शन वाले से रिलेटेड ऐसे
This is our last lecture of our 5-day capacity building training program. So I think you must be feeling so relaxed because this is last lecture and आप लोग अपने को थोड़ा आजाद महसूस करेंगे. But the lecture is very interesting. This is based on the good manufacturing practice for the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathic drugs. Previously, Day sir was also described good manufacturing practices on the WHO aspects. But sir, as belongs to the industry side, so sir will give you the practical approach of the good manufacturing practices. Sir is basically QC head in the Shobe India Private Limited, where we have visited our third day of the training program, the homeopathic Shobe Homeopathic India Limited. So sir is basically they are the quality head. So sir will deliver his lecture on the good manufacturing practice for the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathic drugs. So before sir will share his ideas, his knowledge with you, I would request our SC Burma sir to kindly welcome our guest by giving him the flower bouquet. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, BCA, for giving the opportunity. And it is very nice to see a lot of student people are here. I try my best to deliver what I want and what I know. And at the same time, I also am also expecting the people who involved in the process. So the real experience I was able to share. And at the same time, I also request if you have anything which you want to understand, if you want to ask or if you want any clarification, if it is taking long time, then we can put it down somewhere and after training we can discuss and we can have a little bit understanding on that particular topic. On and right. So again, thank you very much for joining this session. So let me start with the understanding whether we see all must be knowing that good manufacturing practice and in last 4-5 years you must be discussing continuously understanding the process. So if anyone can want to share GMP and anything good manufacturing practice, what you understand, how it can be, how it is applicable to your industry, if anyone want to share. Okay, let's start maybe after some time we will have. So it is about the GMP. Now GMP is a set of regulations that we all know, and the important part is consistency. So when we are talking about consistency means the variables which we have in the process or in the input, if all are constant, your output will also be constant. So our intent is just to have finished product, whatever we are making, maybe homeopathy, Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani, or anything. We want the product which we are taking or purchasing from the market. The next time when we are purchasing same quality product, I should be. Probably, suppose if we are taking this bottle from the market and we have a quality, we are saying this is the quality, transparent hai, water we can retain there and there is no leakage, the airtight, everything is there. And after some time, when you are going for the second bottle, and there is uncertainty, you will open the bag, open the box, and you will see translucent type of bottle. So that you don't like. If you want that the food you are taking, the medicine you are taking, a constant, consistent quality you want, because that will impact your if you talk about drug efficacy, quality, and the how it will impact on your health. So that's very important. So That's the reason we are talking about consistent quality of the product. And about the IU system, it ensures the herbal traditional homeopathic medicine made under the scientific hygiene controlled condition while respecting the classical method. So why I have written here Ayush industry, because in Ayush, Ayurveda, Siddha, homeopathy, Unani, they have their traditional method. It is given in pharmacopoeia. Government has drafted that or make the rules. So minimum classical method we need to follow. If anyone can about the classical method, that also would be welcome here. If anyone want to understand, and also there are authentic texts which is there. Maybe apart from pharmacopoeia, there are authentic texts about the classical medicine that also can be reviewed, can be checked, or that also has to be taken care. So when we are talking about GMP, we should not leave classical method which is given in authentic text. So that's the important part. So since we are talking about ASU and H medicine, these are the medicine which are actually a traditional medicine. And we are talking about ASU, Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani. These are governed by Schedule T, by the Schedule T of Drug and Cosmetic Act, and while homeopathic medicine is Schedule M1. So when you see drug and cosmetic, the next chapter of Schedule M is Schedule M1. So these are the governing guidelines. So what I did, because we are talking about ASU and H, so I have differentiate little bit about the Schedule T and Schedule M1. See, the GMP is not only the book. GMP is about the approach. So what we are following, it's a kind of guideline. So when we are talking about this, we would say sometime you will see in your industry lot of procedure, lot of guideline people are following in industry, but it is not written in any text. It is not written in Schedule T, Schedule M, or M1. So it is about the process, which is good to have the consistent quality product. This is about the GMP. So let me start with the minor differences which is given there. The category, location, and surrounding. In homeopathy, they have given everything is same, but they have given the added requirement to avoid railway lines due to vibration. It is given in the guideline. It may impact the sensitive equipment. So this is about location, surrounding, building. अभी जैसे एक पोटेंटाइजर आता है, इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ यू विल से होम्योपैथी में हम पता नहीं आप शायद समझ पाएंगे, उसको हम रेज करते हैं, उसकी पोटेंसी रेज करते हैं. तो पोटेंटाइजेशन में क्या होता है कि अगर आपका एक होता है कितने वाइब्रेशन हो, 10 वाइब्रेशन हो तो एक पोटेंसी वो आगे बढ़ती है. तो वाइब्रेशन में इम्पैक्ट दी प्रोडक्ट क्वालिटी, बिकॉज इट इज like the vibration kind of thing. So when there is a vibration due to the railway or maybe the railway line, electric light, that will impact the sensitive equipment. We are calling it sensitive equipment. Sir, as such it is not given, but sound with the logo. Yes. That also is a point. And ये ऐसे कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं जिसमें जवाब ढूंढना बहुत मुश्किल है. When we are talking about, जैसे सर ने पूछा कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन तो यहाँ से आप साउथ में भेजेंगे, वो हिलता हुआ जाए. बट व्हाट वी कैन से, वी आर नॉट एडिंग द डाइल्यूशन. हम उसमें कोई डाइल्यूशन ऐड नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम फर्दर उसको डाइल्यूट नहीं कर रहे हैं, कोई कैरियर नहीं डाल रहे हैं. तो वी कैन से दैट इज द सेम. So this is a situation where we need to face these kinds of questions. I am basically I did my post graduation in microbiology, and I am in the industry from last 22 years. And my experience is in research, in initial 2 years, genetic engineering. Then I shifted to Ayurvedic medicine and drugs. Then I had the experience in supplement, dietary supplement. Then I have experience of Unani. So Siddha is remaining. Siddha is remaining. So now I am exploring the homeopathy. So I'll try to answer whatever question you have. Now we'll come to the. ऐसा नहीं है सर कि when we are discussing, lot of people are GMP. I was talking about GMP. GMP में there are many things which is written, and more than that is not written. So what you are supposed to do is, it is about the risk assessment. Like sir also told, you are also asking whether the कितना distance होना चाहिए. So there is a process called risk assessment, impact assessment. You check whether the risk is there. If it is there, you have to design your process. You have to design your, जैसे आप फूड में जाएंगे, फार्मा में जाएंगे, कहा जाता है कि आप अपनी बिल्डिंग को ऐसी जगह से दूर रखिए जो डस्ट प्रोड्यूस करते हो, जो पोल्यूशन प्रोड्यूस करते हो. देयर शुड नॉट बी अ काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्मेलिंग नियर बाई. तो ये हमें ध्यान रखना होता है. तो हाउ वी विल डू द ट्रिगरिंग पॉइंट इज रिस्क असेसमेंट. यू डू द रिस्क असेसमेंट. प्रोडक्ट की कर सकते हैं, बिल्डिंग का कर सकते हैं. यू कैन हैव योर रिस्क असेसमेंट ऑन प्रोसेस ऑल्सो, wherever, like sir has told. So these kinds of things has to be covered in risk assessment, and accordingly you have to have a process design, building. Like your question can be addressed. So there is a mitigation plan. When we are talking about this, there should be a mitigation plan. So I'll discuss about this, how we can answer those kind of questions. We'll discuss on this. So let me take the plant and equipment. So everything is same. SOP should be there, but in schedule M1 it is written detailed layout and equipment of each section it is good, because they have their traditional method, so they have to give. Now about the equipment, in schedule T it is given generic suitable equipment, while schedule M1 it is written minimum SS304. So you can have a SS316. Most of people must be knowing. I understand it is written minimum 304. See, minimum 3. Now, see, I'm talking about the section, about the text given on schedule M1. I'll come on your answer. Nowadays, there are two aspects. One is there are multiple things written in the guideline, and the more part which is not written, industry is implementing. Like 30316. Earlier it was 316. Now people are using 316L. Correct? And there are many places now people are using glass lining also. Glass liner also is going on where the risk is there. I'm coming to that. So there are people who have SS316. There are people who are having 316L also. It is little bit costly. 304 is normally non-contact part, 316 is contact. I understand this. But I am talking about what is written in schedule M1. I'll come to your point. What is not written? That also is important. In the industry, what we need to focus, what is not written, will come on that. So your point is 100% correct. In industry, in pharmaceutical, no one is using 304 because there are the chemicals, there are the solvents which may react with the 304. This M1 minimum 304 means 304 minimum तो चाहिए. अभी ना earlier people, what people were using plastic, aluminum. So aluminum, leaching, migration is there. Plastic people were using. So now the government also supporting. We as an industry also coming up that at least 316, like you are telling, you are not agreeing. It is a cost factor. So If government is saying, even in Schedule T it is not written, suitable container. Again, from where it will come? I was telling it's a risk assessment. You decide. The solvent may react with the SS. There are many solvents which may react 316. Yes. Iron. You have given some solution in minimum cost at least. And like he was telling, no plating, lining, SS lining also. Now people are doing like sir has told plating. So one more example, if you are talking about in industry, I'll come to this also. In the industry, we should use a clean room, non-clean. I'm coming to that part. In Schedule T, there is no classification. But in Schedule M, it is given for sterilization, it should be 100. It is given. Sir, again, what I was trying to tell you, it is about the risk assessment. When you say you have a HEPA, you have a flow, velocity, everything is there, and there are 20 people in the room, you will not able to maintain. Your system will not pass. How you will decide how many people will be there in the room? How you will decide what will be the flow? How you will decide the surface area of the HEPA? It will come through the risk assessment. So what I was trying to tell you, this is given the system. System has designed well. Whoever has done, he has done wonderful because they have to keep everything in their mind that how type of people, type of industry, type of maybe the financial process also they must be seeing. So accordingly, we have to have a appropriate container, appropriate system, appropriate process. So the difference again, I'll come to expiry date. Some of the products have no expiry in the Ayurveda, and in homeopathy, they have given a blanket expiry 5 years. This is the difference. And but if you see, if you talk about the industry, they must be having their stability. I think in this session, stability study session was there. So they have their stability study with them. Government also supporting. At the same time, in Schedule M1 also in homeopathy, there are dilutions, there are potencies. They don't have expiry. It is expiry. It is given blanket maximum. देखिए मैं this is what I was telling. What is written, what is not written. Written is that it should not exceed maximum 60 months. And what is not written, you are saying that industry have it. Some people have, some people don't have. But people are what you have leverage that you will launch the product with the accelerated stability study, and then parallelly you can have your stability study saying that it will not. Photo stability कर सकते हैं if it is sensitive. If it is sensitive. Like I don't know, someone has seen in Ayurveda, curcumin is a light sensitive. When you test, when you keep, if the light is there in sunlight, in front of sunlight you are putting, it may change the character. So when we are talking about this in lab, people must be there. So when we are testing it, we should be having this what do you call the not transparent, translucent. No, no, no. Lux level. Lux level is a different one. Now, again, how much lux level should be there? So we'll discuss on this, sir. And we may have a lot of discussion if you want after this. Lux, someone, the guideline, if you see in the ISU and many guidelines, you will see 350 in storage, 450 or 400 something in. This is what I'm telling. 350 minimum is storage, and 250 is the non-critical issue, where you are storing a net worth. 450 or 400 or something is minimum. What industry is doing? Industry is giving 600, 500. We will not be on the, because over a period of time, the light will reduce also. Like UV, in many places UV we are using, in laminar airflow, dynamic pass box. So what we'll do, what we are saying, in 2000 hours, after 2000 hours, we are removing it, changing it. So maybe after 2000 hours, it may be a complete effective, but we are changing based on risk assessment. We will not able to check that. We will change straight up. So we'll talk about this. Now, a lot of people are saying why it is important. If someone can, based on their industry, based on their experience, if anyone can give input on this. Yes, sir. Perfect. Batch to batch accuracy. It is about the consistency. Yes, sir. Quality assurance. Ji, ji. Yes, sir. Perfect. For the better traceability. Perfect. So, like I was telling, I always focus on consistency. When you have food morning and same food, if you are taking another day, we want that quality. If the namak is high or maybe low, you don't want. So consistency is very important. For the therapeutic, we are talking about the drug, therapeutic value and the impact on the patient should also be there. Yes, sir. Tell me. So I was talking about consistency. So consistency is what I was telling, because we are talking about the medicine. We want something from the medicine. If we have some problem, we are taking medicine, and we have a trust on our regulatory authority. We have trust on company that they have DMP. They must have minimum requirement, which will give assurance that the product they are making, manufacturing, will give effect to us or to the patient. So GMP is giving assurance also, giving confidence also, and they are talking about safety also. If someone is going in the plant for the audit, wherever the inspector or drug inspector, or we are also going in industry audit, there are internal self-assessment process. There are the corporate system. People are going for the audit. What they are ensuring? They are ensuring that first is the product which we are manufacturing is consistent. Quality policy we dekhte hain. Yes, sir. And the second point is, what we are checking is whether they have procedure written, whether the procedures are approved. Why we are checking? Because this procedure will give, person may be changed, but the procedure will always be there. Suppose if we are doing testing with one method, another person is coming from different industries doing the same testing with different methods, the result may vary. If we are doing testing by HPLC and if you are doing testing by UPLC, the method will be different. So another point is method validation. So I'll come to that point also. So like regulatory compliance, yes, it's a minimum requirement. Global acceptance, I was talking about. If you don't have GMP, maybe before 2008, I think GMP is implemented in 2008 or in nearby time. Before that, people were having their own process. Now, the consistency was required that time. Government has come up with the GMP saying these are the minimum requirements. Every industry should be followed. सर वो क्या था, मैं बताता हूँ, मोर क्लैरिटी. अभी आप देखिए शेड्यूल एम आ गया. Why they are coming up? There should be, अभी आप what you can say, GMP follow करना है, document should be there, safety should be there, all the procedures should be written, qualification should be there. And many people say, why qualification? It is not written anywhere. Now they come up with the QMS, risk assessment. So these people, why people are coming there? Because we want all the industry should have a common procedure, minimum. Any industry can have higher, but minimum is required. So objective of GMP we have already discussed. Key principle इसमें, if anyone want to give input, create SOP, implement, enforce SOP, work instruction is also important, document procedure and process, validate the effectiveness of SOP, that is very important. We may make the SOP, whether those SOPs are effective or not, that has to be ensured. Now design and use working system, maintain system and facility equipment. If new plant is there, people are having all the system, everything is there. Whether we are able to maintain, whether we are able to sustain, that also is important. That can be ensured by self-assessment, audit, internal audit, external audit. These are the major tools which will give us that whether we are able to sustain the process or standard or not. Develop job competence. Again, it is very important. You means the botany cannot be a microbiologist. If you want to be a microbiologist, you should have experience. Either you come up with the academic knowledge or you should have a minimum experience is required. So one more example, compression machine is going on. He is doing compression, handling the compression machine, and if he is not knowing, something may happen. Your product quality may be deteriorated, maybe chipping or something if someone is working on tablet, or safety issues must be there. So there are many mechanical parts. There are many means things which may impact the safety of the individual. So competency is very important. Competency mapping is also there. People are doing. So we may discuss this also. Prevent contamination through cleaning. Cleaning is very important. Sometimes people are only cleaning. There is no cleaning validity. Whether the process we are using is effective or not, that also has to be ensured. So साबुन यूज कर लिया या डिटर्जेंट यूज कर लिया and then rinse it, and most of the industry is saying हम तो बहुत अच्छा सोप से क्लीन करते हैं, वहां से निकला या नहीं निकला ये पता नहीं. And there are residuals. If people will understand, residual solvent, residual drug, residual soap, so 100% zero कर देना is sometimes is very difficult. People have to have a limit. Sometimes 1000 ppm based on this. Again, the risk assessment will come. So risk assessment may you have to decide whether the soap, how much soap should be there, how much the residual drug can be. That's the reason we are having uh, batch to batch cleaning, product to product cleaning. If it is a batch to batch, we may have a little liberal. If product to product, we have a different kind of cleaning. So again, the cleaning is important. Prioritize quality and integrate into workflow. So when we are talking about, suppose if we are talking about the manufacturing process, any manufacturing process, maybe syrup manufacturing, tablet manufacturing, or any. So in that way, we have to integrate quality requirements. What are the requirements? What will be the check? What will be the input? What will be the variables in the process? We have to constant. We have to ensure that everything is constant. Then only you will be able to get finished product consistent. You will see a lot of people, lot of industry maybe following also, maybe not following. When we are planning an equipment, any machine, tablet compression, syrup manufacturing, vessels, lot of things. So the engineer will sit and he will decide we want a vessel, mixing vessel or something, or manufacturing vessel, where you will have manufacturing of syrup or maybe mother teachers or Ayurvedic quartz kind of thing, something. So what people are doing, okay, we want a vessel, 3,000 liter, 5,000 liter, 1,000 liter, something, and it should have stirrer, and the MOC would be 304 non-contact, 316 contact part, and jacketed hot water facility, uh, nozzle, sampling nozzle, and then uh, the cap. Uh, these kinds of things we are doing. But whether we are exploring whether the quality part is considered here, what is quality? Now, quality will say, okay, everything is all right. Whether we will able to clean this vessel in such a way that the residual will be removed. So whether it is considered, and at the same time we will also see the safety part. Because what I have seen in many industries, people are going inside the vessel. It's a safety issue. And inside the vessel means now there are process, there are system CIP, cleaning in place. Now you will install the CIP. At the time of purchasing only you have to decide we want a CIP. No people will go inside. It will work, it will clean by you in 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So this is the cleaning part. So this is the quality part we need to take care while designing the process or designing the. Now conduct GMP audit regularly. This is again an important part. It is not कि audit कोई external आएगा या drug inspector आएगा तभी audit करें. We should be consistent. And believe me, जो भी audit करने जाता है उसको पता चल जाता है कि क्या गड़बड़, उसको पता है कहाँ गड़बड़ होगा. इंडस्ट्री में जाने के साथ ही या कहीं पे भी किसी भी लैब में जाएंगे उसको पता होगा क्या करेगा क्या नहीं करेगा. If anyone has faced FDA audit and DI, he knows everything. वो आपको सपोर्ट कर रहा है कि भाई कर लीजिए और उसको सब पता होता है. आप ये नहीं सोच सकते कि उसको पता नहीं चला जी हम कुछ होगा. It is not like that. So what we have to do is we should have an internal audit, self-assessment before, means it should be independent to DI or any audit. Internal process should be there. We should have an internal team who will audit cross-functional, or maybe team will go and audit as per the GMP or any other process. There you will see it is divided in two parts. One is GMP, good manufacturing practice. Second is it is basically about the machinery, equipment, minimum area requirement. So we will not touch this. We will touch only GMP. The key requirement is factory premises. General requirements, I'll discuss on this. Personal and hygiene, equipment requirements, raw material storage, document system, quality control, hygiene, sanitization, and waste disposal. So for each key requirement, we can have a full day session. So it is not very small. If we understand the factory premises, there is a validation, there is a qualification, facility qualification. Industry people must be knowing this. All DI is the inherent. They know everything. So I'll talk about industry. They must be doing this facility qualification. It means what? I'll come to that also. Factory premises. We should have a adequate space, receiving and storing raw material. And when we'll talk about raw material should be unloaded. It should be the packaging, de-dusting process. Then it will go to the quarantine. The label would be there, quarantine label or quality label. Anyone can decide as per their process. Quarantine label will be there. Then the QC will take the sample, and then it's a very common process. will take the sample, he'll do analysis, then he'll put label, and there should be a batch identification, there should be a product identification, the date of receipt, everything should be there. And the approved and rejection store should be there. Manufacturing process area, we should have defined segregated manufacturing process area. We should have a quality control section, separate quality area for quality control, because in QC we are using lot of chemicals which is not good for your product. The fumes generated in QC is not good for product, so it should have a separate area. FG store, office, administrative office, we should have a separate area. Rejected goods and drugs, we should have a separate area. Yes. Packaging also. Packaging area should also be, because there are two types of packaging. Thank you, sir, for reminding me. Packaging has two types. One is primary, another one is secondary. So secondary is good, is for the safety, is for the lining. It is good. We should have a separate area, controlled area. But primary is very critical, because the product will go inside. It will be in direct touch with the product. So that should have a controlled area. That should have a cleaning process. It's like a manufacturing process. The people going inside in primary packing area should have proper wearing, proper change control. That should be there. So I have explained here. One, if you're able to see raw material dispensing, there are GMP zones, the clean room, manufacturing, primary packing, and primary packing material clean room. So these are the GMP area. I'll talk about this section B, building. As everyone knows that we should have a factory premises clean, all the insects, rodents, cobweb, everything should be, the plant should be free from these things. And we should have a manufacturing plant, a clean area, smooth, easy to clean. That also is very, very important. Because if you have, example is coving, the light flushing, if there are corners, if you must be observing sometime, corner cleaning is very difficult. So avoid corners, coving, or different kind of uh, coving is normal. You may have a epoxy that can be easily cleaned. So that we have to take in care. ये आपने कल बिल्डिंग देखी होगी, इसका क्वालिटी कंट्रोल लैब. If you see cap, the coving and the flush light, so this is the example. We should have a flush glazed window, smooth, concealed surface, hygienic drains. If mostly people knows GMP drains, backflush protection should be there. Homogeneous sealed flooring. Homogeneous sealed flooring will come through the epoxy. Sometimes now people are very intelligent. They are using stones also. They can do on stones also. So there are techniques. You can flush it stone, and you can have a coving wall to floor. Stainless steel furniture in the clean area. Now I'll come to water supply. It is an ingredient also in many places. In many products, it's an ingredient. So it should be potable. It should be potable, and continuous supply should be there. Now, sir was asking about GMP is given like this. Now, what we are doing? We are using purified water. Purified water means it is more safe for the product. So, in purified water, it's a normal physical filters, pre-treatment, softening, reverse osmosis, EDI, deionization also people are using. Deionizing will remove the remaining ions. After RO, there may be ions. So that also will be removed by deionization process. And then again storage, and we should have a loop system. It is sometimes it is written, sometimes it is not written. but in industry people are using loop. You will start from tank and it will return with the some particular flow. Why it is? Because when the stagnant water will be contaminated by the microbial film, it will be generated. So this is very important. Waste disposal, we know that we have to have we are generating lot of, in industry we are generating lot of waste from the lab, chemicals, microbiological media, and these things are critical when we are disposing of. So we should have a process. Either you will have a government approved agency who will take the waste, or you will have a, like raw in Ayurveda there are earth water extract, and you will have a spent mass. You can use it for fertilizer, but there should be a process. See, you have to have a risk. Suppose if you are water extract, you have a simple ashwagandha. Take example. अश्वगंधा लिया, वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन हमने किया, वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन करने के बाद उसमें वाटर से हमने एक्सट्रैक्शन ले लिया, अब उसमें क्या बचा, हर्ब. So that waste, you should have a proper risk assessment. That waste can be used for the fertilizer generation. Biomedical waste, media, chemicals, you should have an agency. When the DI or anyone can go, will go, he may ask the agreement. The last 1 year, how much you have disposed, that can be asked. There are pollution control board guidelines we have to follow. It is written here also. It is not written like this. Excipient is also there. Solvent also. Solvent cannot be thrown like this. Yes. Preservative. Yes. Suppose if people are using sugar syrup and you are using preservative, paraben or benzoate or something you are using. If spillage is there or some problem is there, how you will throw? That is very important. You cannot throw like throwing on the drainage. It is not allowed. So you should have a proper incident recorded. How you have disposed, DI may ask, or any your auditor, internal auditor may ask. Yes, sir. Hmm. Correct. Excipient letter. Solvent. J. Correct. I cannot comment on this, but I agree. Correct. Yes. Yes. Yield control. Okay, so very limited time I have. I'll try to finish it little fast. So it's a raw material. Yeah. So now the raw material, it's a general requirement. We should have a रॉ मटेरियल स्टोरेज, डैम्पनेस नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्लीन होना चाहिए. जहाँ पे आपको एसी लगाना है वहाँ एसी लगाना है, जहाँ पे ऑयल यूज कर रहे हैं एयर टाइट होना चाहिए. दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स शुड बी देयर. कैटेगरी वी ऑल नो. Labeling I have already discussed. I'll focus on qualification part now. Here I have written packaging material. There I missed. Okay. Health, clothing, sanitization, hygiene of the worker. That is very important and challenging also. People are using bearings. Company has given bearings. They are wearing properly or not. That also is a challenge sometimes. Like the cap. Cap is for the air should not fall anywhere in the clean area. But whether it is covering, so that's the important point. We have to taken care. Clothing should be there in clean area. Wearing the slippers or maybe the shoes, that should have a the proper guideline, internal guideline in the clean room. While going inside, we should have a soap dispenser, hand wash facility. In pool area, the hot water facility should be there. So that has to be taken care. Personal hygiene, again important. नहा धो के आना है. Trim nail, clean hair, wear practice uniform, wash and sanitize. Eating, smoking, these are not allowed. Medical services, I'll not touch because that has to be there. Machinery and equipment. So when we are talking about machinery and equipment, we should have a qualification process. Whether the intended purpose of machine is fulfilled or not. Suppose if we are installing a CIP, our intent was that a CIP will clean the vessel. Whether the vessel is cleaned or not, that also is very important. So equipment purchase karna is one part. Equipment काम कर रहा है as per our intended requirement, as per our requirement or not, that has to be taken care through the qualification process. It is not written. What company is doing? There are process, user requirement specification. People do design qualification. They will approve. Okay, this design is all right for our company. Then there is installation qualification. Which motor, what safety you have done, whether the correct safety procedure, interlocks, everything is there or not. Then operation qualification. We are saying that cap ऐसे लगना चाहिए या सिर्फ ऐसा बनना चाहिए. Filling में इतनी quantity, इतना variation आना चाहिए. That has to be taken care through the qualification process. And the performance qualification. One example is their water system. I was discussing before. Water system में तो continuous water generate कर रहा है, and the water you are getting daily. Whether the water is as per your requirement or not, how you will ensure. This is a process called qualification, installation qualification, operation qualification, and performance qualification. Now in performance also people are having phase 1, 2, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So in phase 1, the frequency would be very high. You will have confidence, okay, it is generating all right, all the water which the equipment or system is generating is okay. The frequency will be reduced. Then phase 2, maybe 45 days, 60 days. Then phase 3, 6 months, 1 year. So this qualification process is again a very critical part. Sometimes it is given, sometimes not given. We have to take in. I'll come on that. System, water system validation. Yeah, of course. It's a validation. Yeah. I'll come to that. Your point is 100% correct. Qualification is for the equipment, machine. Validation is for the process. So when we are talking about PQ, there are two things. Performance qualification can be merged with process validation. And performance qualification is normally done by a person who is purchasing or industry who is purchasing. IQ, OQ can be done by vendor, and you have to verify. PQ performance qualification should be performed by uh, manufacturer. Now the manufacturer, the PQ is what? It's a process validation. Whether your process of manufacturing water system is correct or not, whether you are getting correct process or not, correct output or not, that has to be ensured. So PQ and process validation can be merged. Any question? Thank you. Okay, BMR, we all know BMR. Sometimes people are saying protocols. What to be done? Sir was telling in initial time, at the start of the presentation, that there should be a traceability. Why it is required? The customer, the agency, the authority will have confidence. In case of any issue, any problem, any investigation, you will have a process. You will have a BMR. You can able to trace the document starting from vendor, raw material approval, then the intermediate in process test and finished product approval. So everything will be there in the BM, including test report. Distribution record, market complaint. So this is again a very important part. Any market complaint we are having from the market should be recorded. You should have a process for handling. You should have a process for handling. Who will handle this? Who will note down? Who will log it? How the investigation will be done? How the CAPA will be done? Corrective action will be taken, and the reporting also is required. If any critical complaint, any complaint which to be informed to the authority, you should inform. And adverse reaction also has to be noted down. If you have any information, if someone is reporting adverse reaction, you have to report, you have to note it down, and you have to report also to the authority. अब क्या है, सही ऐसे हर बोलते मुझे असर नहीं कर रहा या मुझे दाने आ रहे, you have to investigate. हो सकता है कोई दूसरी दवाई से ले रहा हो सकता है आपकी दवाई से. तो एडवर्स रिएक्शन इज वेरी क्रिटिकल. तो बीमारी, quality control, we should have a facility. Minimum important point is minimum staff चाहिए, ASU qualified staff. Manufacturing area HEPA should be there. Pressure differential, कितना pressure differential होना चाहिए? People say minimum 15 Pascal, 15 Pascal, but 15 Pascal is based on the risk. It's a schedule. Schedule M1 I have taken it because in both the standards everything is same almost. The difference I have already explained in first slide. That's the reason schedule T is covering 3 systems. That's the reason I am discussing about schedule T. Thank you. Any question if anyone want to understand, because this I have taken only from the guideline. If there are many things which is not given in guideline. People are practicing. So GMP is about to practice. You do the risk assessment. If you have any process like qualification, people will not say you will have a okay IQ. Sometimes people are skipping IQ. Sometimes OQ. Sometimes PQ. You have a risk assessment. Based on that assessment, you will have a protocol. You define protocol can be followed. जी सर. तो मेरे पास time it was very less because in GMP mostly people are interested, and if you discuss a full day can be even qualifications. We will have a full day with lot of examples. You can discuss water system, utilities, a different subject, air compressor, water utility, AHU. AHU has a different subject. So if anyone has any question, can ask. Alcohol, alcohol principle. Yes, it is a principle now. Now earlier it was alcohol. Now plus there are 2 key principle added. And now people are coming with 3 or 6 more principle added. You can add anything. It is a principle. Good document practice. आपका analytical method validation. You all these things will cover. If you say the qualitative method and the quantitative method, both have a different process, different protocol. कितना critical है? What type of testing you are doing? If the therapeutic value is depend on your assay, for example, like paracetamol, it is very critical. So alcohol is a principle. Attributable होना चाहिए. The correct. So that has to be there. Now people are coming with 6 more principles in the alcohol. So more questions are welcome. Anyone have?
तो होम्योपैथी के बारे में भी आप लोगों ने जाना डॉक्टर विश्वकर्मा जी से? कोई क्वेश्चन आंसर
सर
कोई क्वेरी हो तो मत पूछिए। हैं बीच बीच में। हाँ नहीं वो ज्यादा सही रहता है एक्चुअली, बाद में भूल जाता है पूछने वाला भी कि क्या पूछना था। और फिर यहाँ कोई ऐसी फॉर्मेलिटी नहीं है कि आपको सिम्पोजियम हो रहा है कि साहब वो फटाफट है। हाँ तो पर्पज यही है कि आमने सामने बैठ करके ज्यादा इंटरेक्शन हो सकता है, बजाय इसके कि हम लोग बड़े हॉल में बैठ करके जो अटेंड करते हैं सिम्पोजियम, इसलिए ये बेहतर है। तो डॉक्टर नेक्स्ट डू।
Thank you, sir, for your presentation on the GMP. So I would request our director, sir, to kindly give. Now we are very close to our training program. Now the time for the feedback and assessment of your knowledge which you have gained in these 4.5 days.